Hello everyone, welcome to Parallel Universe here on GDQ Hotfix, where you're going to be seeing your favorite games, or I guess in this case, your least favorite games from your childhood, in ways you've probably never seen before. Before we get started, I just want to mention that if you're here on Twitch, you should go to youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick and check out all the VODs from GDQ Hotfix, and also the main lines, and also all the fatalities and all the other side events. It's a cool time there. And if you're on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick/subscribe. But I don't want to hold everyone up for too long. Stelmo, please tell me about Project 06. I'm so excited to see this.
Hey, thank you, Lemmy. So I have with me the experts in each of the stories, as well as Rev on commentary here.
Dude!
If you've never seen Sonic Project 06 before, it's a fan-made remake of Sonic 06 by lead developer Chaos X. Whole bunch of other awesome people in the Sonic fan community. Basically seeks to transform the original game into the Sonic Adventure 3 it was always trying to be. And for you guys, we have a treat tonight. We're going to be playing through the entire Silver release, which is the most current release of the game right now. And yeah, it looks like you guys picked Silver. They're going to be starting with him. I'll go ahead and let 7 Chaos pick our spin effect for this run.
All right. So for your orbs out there, I will deny your right and say going default.
Yo, let's go. The default works the best anyway. So we're going to get started here with Silver in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good luck.
Well, I kind of already did an intro. So each of these stories have all been showcased across many different hotfixes at least twice. So tonight we're just going to kind of be hanging out. If you guys have questions in chat, feel free to ask us what's going on. We'll try to explain things as they come up. And one of the most important things we can talk about starting in Silver's story is actually his S-rank reward. So each of the 3 main Hedgehogs, those being Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, all have a hidden reward you can find once you S-rank every stage in their story. And Silver here gets access to ESP mode. ESP mode is essentially his kind of pseudo-super form, where when you activate it, it does a whole bunch of different things we're going to be seeing throughout Silver's run. But the main thing right now that I just need you to know is that it lets you have a reduced action gauge. The action gauge is that glowy bar in the bottom right. It kind of serves as our magic system for Project 06. Most of the characters utilize it, but none more than Silver. Literally all of his psychokinesis abilities are baked in the use of the action gauge. So we're going to have to be very careful with our resource management throughout the run, but I'll throw it over to one of my lovely commentators to explain what's going on with Blaze.
All right. So about Blaze. So when we go into Blaze from retail and compare to Project 06, not much has changed, but a little bit of remodeling to make it a little bit more refined. For now, she has the claw attack, that would be the B button on the Xbox controller. Then we have the normal homing attack that you would see on the X button. And it actually can shoot a little spiral downwards and then can be used for momentum when you actually hit towards the platform. And then something that we don't really use often, which is a tornado spin whenever you press the Y button.
I'll go on ahead.
Moving on to
Silver.
section... Oh, someone speaks. Who is it?
Yes. Hello. It is me. Philip is cold. So for Silver, he has a couple upgrades in his story. As you can see here, he can spin in the air. Usually in retail, he can't do that. That is from the Lotus of Resilience, I believe. And another thing is that his teleport dash, when he's like flying through the air, usually it stops short, but for after he gets the upgrade, it allows you to go for the entire duration for the action gauge, which is pretty cool.
Lotus of Resilience, I believe. Has this guy even played the game before?
Yeah, my bad.
He doesn't even know.
I don't even play this game, honestly.
This looks so beautiful.
What you're seeing right now is a exclusive cutscene to Project 06. This was animated by 3D animator Sonic Pox, and then Chaos X, the lead developer of the project, went ahead and put in all the effects and made it all nice looking and such. But all the model rigging was done by Sonic Pox, so huge shout outs to him for that.
With my psychokinesis.
Are you telling me this isn't developed by one man? Only one man?
No, in fact, it's not developed by one man. It's developed mostly by one man.
It's been beta tested. Holy crap. Not many games have that.
Those enemies look like they're guarding that cave.
Rev, do you have any color commentary?
Not for this stage. There's nothing happening.
Are you kidding me? It's 35 seconds of pure bliss.
It's 35 seconds of double tapping the A button.
Not Sonic Fox.
That's
Sonic
gibberish.
Fox.
I don't know what you guys are on about.
I do
Nothing I love more than double tapping the A button. If that's you, play Silver.
I might be tempted to download this. Where can I find this?
So if you go
I
to
got this one.
twitch.tv/Stelmo98, there's a download link.
There's a donate link, and
You
that's how
guys
you
were
get to the
supposed to
download.
laugh. Well,
Twitch.tv/Stelmo98/subscribe.
/subscribe, yeah.
/subscribe.
/subscribe/follow.
No, actually, I have the answer for this. It is actually on the Chaos X YouTube channel. He has one of those. So
Wow.
on his Silver release video, you can find the game.
Look at this master detective here.
And you
Yeah,
can download the game for absolutely free.
Yeah.
You need like a
Contrary to
$2,000
free.
computer in order to run the game, but you can download it for free. It can be on your computer free of charge.
That's huge, man. I get to play a free Sonic game.
Or you at least get to own one.
You may not get to play it.
You can play it just like the best way to play Fortnite, never opening it.
The Stray is crazy. There was no need to do that.
do.
Oh,
That is karma.
that was-
That is karma.
That's karma. Karma. Karma.
Fortnite's a great game
all
that
night.
I don't play.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
So this is Amy.
Yeah.
This is the one time you're gonna see her, and
In-
she's pretty cool.
Go for it.
If you hold the X button, you get to go forward really fast, and then if you press the A button, you get to jump again, and that's literally all she does. But it feels good to do.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, you
X
weren't
button
really
and lots
singing
of
her
A
praises.
buttons.
Depending on how many enemies are nearby AB, you just also press the B button and then boom, she swings her hammer a lot.
No, you never do that.
You do it
He
once.
did it
You
once.
One time, you press the B button,
And that was
Goodbye,
enough
man.
to
and that's
mention
it. You're never seing her again.
Goodbye, Amy. She
Goodbye,
learned how to
Amy.
go invisible since she's gone for the rest of the story.
Yeah.
What about right there? And also right
Who?
there.
What?
Who?
What?
Who?
Okay.
I think you're hallucinating.
Yeah.
One thing that is pretty neat about Silver's story compared to the other two Hedgehogs is Silver's movement is very precise. So while Sonic and Shadow, as you guys are going to see, or if you haven't seen before, is that there's a little bit of guesswork to the movement. It's like, am I going to get the right angle on the slope jump? Is the spin dash going to give me enough speed? For Silver, his teleport dash always goes the same speed every single time and uses the same amount of meter every single time. So if you know how much meter you need to have, you can always make every single jump or every single trick.
Yeah, surprisingly, like, you'd think that Silver with, like, object manipulation and having to deal with the physics engine would not be a consistent category, but he is actually very consistent.
The most
So-
consistent even.
Yeah.
so consistent that like I kind of would argue that Silver's a little bit more beginner friendly going into speedrunning Project 06. Going and especially when he kind of comes into slowly with Sonic and Shadow. Sonic leaning more towards one of the hardest strats in the game, Castle Skip, and Shadow kind of leaning more towards how to use his kicks and properly use in combat.
Yeah.
No, you mean
and,
Shadow
because-
leaning more towards sleeping.
Yeah, true.
Especially because you don't have to obtain arthritis by constantly mashing the X button in order to play Silver.
That's true.
True.
You do when
That
you play
is
as Blaze,
true.
though.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, doing the Fire Claw is the fastest way to move as Blaze.
Yeah.
It's also just fun to hop around.
Especially when, if I recall, the B was literally when you hit a dash panel, you can keep the momentum as long as you keep spamming it. So the more dash panels you hit that keep increasing your speed, the more you can keep retaining it.
Blaze,
Well, they
Sonic,
don't
and Shadow retain that property, or all have that property with their B button actions.
Yeah, they don't stack though. Like, it just the strongest dash panel just overrides the weaker one.
Security's tight.
Shadow's the only
Jump.
exception though for the
Oh, whoa.
jump slow down. Ooh, slow.
Yeah, we got a little
Hitting
slow
all
jump.
these tricks.
Some of the terrain, Project 06, as the game's still in development and smoothing out the edges of a lot of things, we can get some funny slope jumps sometimes. White Acropolis is probably the chief example because it's like snowy, so snow mounds kind of work as slopes for us, and they're little piles, especially on those edges of the terrain, so we can use that to gain additional height. Pretty
Yeah,
neat.
and White Acropolis especially is bound to be a little wonky when it's collision, because the collision for White Acropolis in the original game was actually outsourced to an unknown studio that we don't know who are, but you can kind of see that it's a little more bumpy than all the other stages because of it.
You'll definitely be able to see that more in Shadow's story. It is absolutely
Yeah.
miserable.
Unfortunately,
can-
Sonic's a victim too.
Cool thing we're going to do with Radical Train here. So these gauge up capsules, as I grab everything except for the gauge up capsule, they fully fill our
Good job,
maturity
bro.
meter. The maturity meter for silver, it basically kind of serves as the experience bar, but as silver, it's more of a time gauge. Tried to do a trick there in order to use the ESP mode discount. Oh my goodness, why can't I grab this core?
Shred is actually pretty
finicky.
easy if you're not
Yeah.
bad at the game.
Yeah, true. Well, how many of those are going to be tonight? I have no idea.
I'm gonna count.
God, if this is Coda come back, bro.
No, but we can just do a slightly slower route instead, but still get the Badnik bounce here to go over and grind on this grind rail.
So some other things ESP mode does, automatically reflects any projectiles that are sent at Silver. It'll automatically stun any enemies near him so he can instantly just pick them up. And when it's activated, it releases a Chaos Blast-like explosion, which you're going to be seeing a lot in the next stage, which is very combat heavy.
This guy might be overpowered.
What's Project
Yeah,
06 do
he
to
feels
improve?
awesome to play.
Oh, we got a question. What does Project 06 do to improve the original game's story? It improves it infinitely, like by an infinite amount, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story doesn't, it's not implemented, it's just the game stages.
As of right now, I don't think. I think Chaos X himself actually did say on Twitter he has no plan to even really touch story-wise, due to the fact that he knows he can't really change.
Oh my goodness,
everything.
Shadow!
Hi, Shadow.
Oh my god!
Yeah, sorry, sir.
No, you're good. You're good. It's Shadow
Yeah,
gameplay.
there are no plans to include a story, but who knows? Someone might be able to pay Beats an incredible amount of money to mod it in.
Incredible.
Would be
To create custom code, of course, since this is a fan game.
Yeah.
Anyways, goodbye, Shadow. We're not seeing him again.
Not yet. We do get to, he gets his redemption later. We could probably,
boy.
if you want to, we could set up another chat poll for between Sonic and Shadow next. Because in all stories, any percent, it doesn't matter which story we play, because all the runs are done on New Game Plus, all the any percent runs anyway, so that we can utilize these really cool upgrades for every single stage. Because if we did it on a new file, we wouldn't get to use the Sigil of Awakening, which is what grants ESP mode. We wouldn't be able to use it at all, because the run is over once you collect it.
And we would get like a heavily gimped teleport dash, which sucks so much fun out of the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the Psychic Knife, though. Sonic Generations.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, that's locked with the Flame of Control, I believe. I don't know this character, I don't know.
I believe
You did get him right. You got him right. Flame of Control.
See,
does
I'm
give him
smart.
that.
I'm smart.
But this
I
stage
played
is
Silver
a
once.
perfect example of like ESP being very useful, not only just to clear out enemies as fast as possible, but also just to keep up that duration of the gauge and just abuse the teledash, because it needs to be used at all times to keep moving forward. Especially in this area where you got to activate ESP and then try to fly around while drives come at us with these rods that basically just kill any enemies near it. It's kind of like an AoE attack.
You can see the meter get dangerously close, but we just make
yeah.
several of these. Thankfully, there's no guesswork, though. As long as I have full meter there, I know I'm going to make it, which is nice. Seeing some 3D in our 3D Sonic game. Shoutouts to the Stomach crew for that one. Everyone needs the Psychic Knife. And then another property of ESP mode, when you activate it, it emits a giant Psychic Blast that automatically defeats stuff around Silver, kind of like Shadow's Chaos Blast.
Imagine how
Yeah.
good that must feel.
Just a Chaos
Like
Blast.
for Silver?
The Chaos Blast.
Yeah.
That must be amazing.
Sound
I
effect.
wouldn't know the feeling.
Can't say I've ever done it.
Does it mean campaign or the characters? It means the campaign, but obviously we play as the main Hedgehog in said
Sonic, we
campaign.
don't have
So
time. Let's get to Elise right away. Leave it
another
to
cool
me.
cutscene here. Both the Crisis
So
City
cool.
and the Kingdom Valley
He's
cutscene
gone.
were both completely done by Chaos. Sonic Fox only had involvement in the Tropical Jungle one.
talk about how fast Sonic is? Like, he literally disappeared instantly.
Oh my goodness. So what I tried to do there is shoot out a psychic shot. It's the base form of the psychic knife that Silver has by default. It can go through objects and destroy towers, but I think I just barely missed the tower here, even though it's a giant target. I'll never beat the Kingdom Valley allegations on marathon streams.
Yeah. Yeah, usually if you're good, you're gonna hit that, but unfortunately, we have Stelmo running here, so...
Crazy trick right here. So the energy core mechanic was something 7 Chaos talked about earlier. When you defeat enemies, they drop these blue or yellow energy cores that basically, like, allow you to, whether in the ground or in the air. Oh, okay, that trick didn't quite work.
How did that guy live?
I have no idea. I think he was guarded by one of the boxes.
Yeah.
Whether you're on the ground or in the air, these energy cores will refill your action gauge just a tiny bit, and we can actually use that to our advantage. Since the action gauge normally only refills naturally on the ground, we can use them just like right here in order to get a little bit of extra distance.
Barely make that.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Basically go around the entire left side of Kingdom Valley, which is pretty scary because there aren't any checkpoints, so if we died, we'd have to start from the beginning. But now we'll ride the Eagle over to Section 2, where we'll get a cameo from our favorite character.
Darn it. I should have realized.
Oh my god.
Shadow?
Watching it.
Tails.
Watching runners. Oh, Tails.
Oh yeah,
This guy
shit.
Watching runners.
The legendary
Watching runners
tail.
who are good at silver is really scary because they know the exact amount of meter they need to get through any gap, and as a spectator, it's always terrifying because you're like, are they making that? Is that going to work? And it always does.
Thankfully for you guys, this is not one of those runs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't worry,
Hey,
Stelmo.
Rev,
I
The
trust you
jokes
with my
write
life.
themselves.
Hey Rev, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Throughout the times I've run in silver, I'm scared at all times, bro.
It also applies to the runner too.
Yeah, you need a healthy amount of fear to run this game.
You get like imposter syndrome. You're like, do I remember this?
You haven't
You
played a
doubt
horror
yourself.
game until you speedran silver in Project Ocean. Speaking of horror,
Also, this
right
eagle's
here,
gonna give us a
this
little
water's
scare.
insta-kill. The eagle just decides to dip us right into it for no reason.
Leave this up to me.
What a jerk, bro.
He's just an asshole.
Like, he could have just flown straight, but he decides, you know what? You look a little hot there, Silver. Let's cool you down a bit.
Gotta cool down.
He's just a
Water
little
is incredibly
smelly for
lethal
fun.
in this game, though.
The eagle was stunned by the USP, therefore chill.
Into our final full-length stage of Silver's portion of the run here, Flame Core. It's his longest one. The last 3 stages are significantly longer than the first 5. Well, I guess actually, since we have the extra stage, the last 4 stages, it takes about as long to complete Aquatic-based Kingdom Valley Flame Core as it does to complete the first 5 stages in the run. It's pretty crazy.
Which is really cool, I think, because it makes for a hype like gauntlet. You gotta stay locked in, especially for these combat rooms, because like combat in silver is so incredibly varied because you have the psychic knife, you have the psycho shock, which is the ground pound stun move, you have the psychic shot, which stuns a single enemy. Like you just have so many different options that it's a genuine playground every time you come across one of these rooms.
Ooh, Philip, looks like you have a fan in chat right now.
Yeah, I'm super popular.
It's true.
I have a quick question because I find combat with silver like scary. Like, how do you aim everything so fast? Like it.
Because
It
I've
looks so
played this game
impressive.
for
Practice.
thousands of hours.
Yeah, lots of practice. It is,
And a little bit
this
of
is
praying.
definitely. I would say this is definitely the hardest stage in the game, like across every single story.
What makes Project 06 so cool for speedrunning and why it's beginner friendly as well is that it's easy to learn and hard to master. There's no tricks. There's no like hidden stuff that you just have to know about the characters in order to go fast in this game. It's just practicing, learning from the top runners by looking at their runs and their input displays, and then just do it yourself or develop your own routes and stuff. It's very neat, very accessible game, especially because
Yeah,
you can
really
run all the
freeform.
levels in a singular chunk if you decide to. You don't have to run the game all at once.
Yeah, ILs in this game are so sick. There are so many cool IL strats that we just can't show off because they're really inconsistent.
Very. And even to go off of that, like, let's just say you are the type of runner that wants to try to learn from ILs into the any percents afterwards. It will not be the same at all, please reconsider backups because of how it's in dire need. Something like Flame Core, if you like died right here, you would lose all those 30 seconds that you just used right now, and then have to go all the way back. It can get really scary. Confidence is kind of the huge thing, not just for Silver, but even for the other 2 Hedgehogs that are remaining.
Yeah, neat thing too, a lot of my backups personally I developed myself because I'm terrible at this game and I stream it, so.
Yeah, the IL brain rot, like, perfectionism virus into RTA runs into extreme disappointment is a very real pipeline in this game.
That's why you just start with real-time attack, going against my advice.
I'm happy that
earlier.
the pipeline exists in this game because it also exists with Monkey Ball, and I feel it every day.
Oh god, yeah, Monkey Ball has to be terrible.
Yeah, Monkey Ball sounds miserable. In that case.
Damn, nice time.
You don't have to lie.
What do you mean? That's a good time.
I was hoping for sub 3, but it just didn't happen with that first combat room.
That's a really, really good time. No, like that wasn't. It wasn't slander.
Anything sub 310 is good.
Okay.
You know what? Anything looks good to me because I don't know the times. I'm going to.
Since Rev has the gemless record, I'll take their word for it.
Yeah.
This is the category you're playing right now.
Definitely gemless right now.
Who won the poll?
It was Shadow.
Shadow.
Shadow did.
I was going to say I saw some Hog Champs in the Twitch chat, so it's probably good enough.
It's probably. It just scam
in the eyes
everyone
of the
who voted.
average GDQ Twitch viewer, it was good enough.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
Validate my feelings. Oh, so what's going on here is that every story in Project 06 has an extra stage where you go through a smaller section of a stage with a companion character. So each story has 2 companion characters and a cameo or 2 from one of the other main hedgehogs. If you hadn't picked it up by the end of the run, Silver's story has Blaze and Amy as his companions. Wave Ocean with Blaze is one of the coolest stages in the game because Blaze is really fun to play. And the level design at the very end of the stage here was expanded. So normally we would actually be ending the stage right about now. You can see that little hut to my left is where the goal ring usually is, but Chaos decided to extend it a little further just to be able to play as Blaze a little bit more. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's really sick, because this is definitely the sickest part of the stage.
Everything's just so
lots of
smooth.
shortcuts.
It's so cool.
We're going to do a cool little thing here. With Project 06, when you go up against sloped terrain, you gain increased jump height. So it's kind of like a slope jump, but it doesn't really make sense. But I appreciate that it's there. And keep note of that, because in Shadow's story, we're going to use that same exact trick with him to go fast in his Wave Ocean too, which is really cool, as tricks are shared between stories.
Right.
So Shadow is up next, so Mr. Phillip is cold if you'd like to pick the spin effect for that.
Orb.
No.
No.
I mean, I like Adventure 2 as much as the next guy, but... Oh, that's the wrong character.
I see.
Let's go ahead and jump into Shadow's story. So Shadow's story is going to feel a lot more familiar. He's the combat-focused character of Project 06, though that doesn't mean much with the character's abilities in this game. But he's got the homing attack, he's got the spin dash, which, funnily enough, he didn't have in the original game. And his homing attack is a little bit more combat-focused. He does this thing called the Chaos Attack when he connects with the enemy with more than 1 HP. He's got a spin kick move that is called the Tornado Kick, which is totally busted, that we'll be seeing later. And overall, he's just kind of fun. But kind of.
Yeah, only kind of. That's, yeah.
His companions are going to be Rouge and Omega. We're going to see Rouge a lot in the first half, and then Omega a lot in the second half of Shadow's story here.
What you see is what you get with Rouge. A lot of gliding.
Yeah, jeez.
Unfortunately, Rouge actually does have a really neat moveset, and compared to a lot of the other characters in Project 06, it's actually really simple. She's only got about 4 different techniques, but they work extremely well together, which is really fun when you actually have to use them. But the section she's in Shadow's story don't really call for it at all.
And the fastest way to move with her is gliding and not even running, so it's pretty unfortunate the way we're forced to play her.
Yeah, we'll see some more of her moveset much later, and much later in the Shadow run. But In White Acropolis, to like finish the stage, instead of going to a gold ring, you need to like destroy these searchlights. And this is what Selmo says is one contribution to the route, which is finding out what searchlights to hit in what order.
It's true, man. It's my one contribution to the game. Searchlight route's been used since Shadow existed. You know, clipping through walls notwithstanding, but that was a previous release.
Yeah.
It was peak.
And since the buggy is extremely slow and also not very out of the way in this stage, he has different vehicles that we will be seeing shortly. But in this stage, you get the buggy, and it's really slow, so you don't use it.
Project 06, is that the same as just Sonic 06? No. In fact, it is extremely different. The only thing that's really shared between the two games are the character models, the animations, and the stage assets. Everything has been rebuilt from the ground up otherwise, so how the characters move, how they control, how their abilities work, all custom. And you can try it absolutely for free on Chaos X's YouTube channel.
I promise it is Sonic Adventure 3. Like it genuinely feels like
it feels so nice.
And it's not even done yet.
Leave it to me.
Speaking of Sonic Adventure, treasure hunting is here.
Yes!
So, yay!
It's peak!
So in
Shovel
the
Claws,
original
where you
game, where you at? Here's your thing. But in the original game, the keys in this section are in set locations, but Chaos X added some extra locations and randomized them, and gave you a little key radar here, similar to the adventure games. And this key set was actually pretty good.
Yeah, wasn't that
not bad at all.
Fun thing is when you climb with Rouge, the fastest way to climb with Rouge, and you'll see, is Knuckles. Knuckles has a pretty identical, or not an identical moveset, but a pretty similar moveset to Rouge, is that you actually want to like jump. So you attach to the wall, jump, and then do that over and over again. It's faster than climbing up. Though here in Shadow's Kingdom Valley, we actually have a special visit from the developer of the game.
Yeah.
We go on this waterway. We actually enter Chaos's house. If we look right behind the sewers here, there he is.
There he is.
Guys, what can we ask him? Hey, Chaos, will you put the hub worlds in the game?
Where's your laptop?
No. Chaos? Oh, okay.
Bro, where's the last release, Chaos?
Oh, man, I guess he didn't want it. Oh, well. We'll just continue on anyway.
I miss
Another
Sonic,
gimmick
man.
of Shadow's story here is that he has vehicles. You saw the hang glider in section 1. That was the hover car. Goes on water.
And hovers.
And hovers.
Yeah,
and
that's
is a car.
pretty much it.
And is a car.
Just going down the list. He's got like bullet points.
All right, Philip, and what does the motorcycle do?
Motor?
And cycle.
Wow. In section 3, we get to see some of the raw movement with Shadow here. We got a lot of spin dash and a lot of homing attacking. His Chaos Spear actually also has a lot of utilization in his platforming as well, because you can use up to 3 in the air before you have to homing attack or land on the ground, and it refreshes that set of 3. When Shadow uses a Chaos Spear, he'll recover by doing a small bounce in the air. We call that a spear bounce. It can basically act as a double jump when we use all 3 in succession, but we can also use it to stall his air time, which is really nice as well. Additionally, if you use a Chaos Spear after a jump dash, you actually gain an additional jump dash charge, and you can bypass the Chaos Spear animation by just pressing the A and the X button at the exact same time, which is pretty nice. But I wanted to do a spear right there for this pretty cool skip. In order to cancel out Shadow's air momentum, because we are using a customizable jump dash type called Legacy. Legacy, there are 3 different types. Legacy is the best one overall, but also for speedrunning. It's got the longest duration, it goes the fastest, and it preserves our direction. So we kind of get to make the choice whether we want to preserve Shadow's air direction with the Legacy jump dash, or we can use a Chaos Spear to kind of cancel it out and just go straight forward, which is pretty cool.
Shadow, don't be late.
Sonic!
This is the boy.
It's Sonic.
It's not supposed to be here yet.
Oh, goodbye, Sonic.
In Crisis City, though, we're going to kind of get to see the physics take its course here as we just use the spin dash, go down section 1.
Yep.
Yeah,
Once
in the
again-
original game, you had to traverse this entire section in a very clunky, very big but fast car.
Yeah.
But thankfully, all of the buggy locations from this stage were removed, so you don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that as well. The buggy, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you view it, is no longer required for anything.
So I see a comment in here that the environment doesn't reflect in the water, and that's because I have the reflections turned off. It's the biggest slog in terms of performance, and no matter how powerful your PC is, because the game's still in development, there's still a few optimizations that need to be made, and the reflections are the biggest culprit of that. So I have them turned off for frame rate.
Like, you think your PC is good, and then you boot up PO6 at max settings, and it turns into a nuclear bomb. Like, I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah, I thought my
am
PC
not
was gonna be
exaggerating.
and then I've never heard it that loud before.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's really bad.
really bad. Kingdom
Cage
Valley is a
Dash.
huge victim for reflections on. You will literally
And
get
aquatic base, since all of the tiny little balls in aquatic base all have their own reflection maps. It's absolutely miserable.
Yeah,
Just part of
And,
figuring things out as you create a game.
yeah. And for this section, we're gonna be seeing Shadow is red. And if you're wondering why, that's because he's using his Chaos Boost ability.
heck?
It is what his meter is tied to, because all the Hedgehogs use the meter in different ways, and
One try on this.
it allows him to, in his level 1 Chaos Boost state, allows him to do the Chaos Snap, which is a little extension of his homing attack at the end, which, if you were a good player, you'd be able to see it right there.
But they'll get to see it right here on the backswing.
Yeah, you'll
Also,
get-
I'm doing a
you get-
cool thing with the cage right there to do a cage dash.
Yeah, the cage actually has a slope, so you can spin dash up it and skip that combat section. 'Cause
But-
you are supposed to fight enemies there.
What Philip was talking about is right there. That's the Chaos
Yeah,
Snap.
there
If
you
you
go.
hold the A button while you're in Chaos Boost level 1, you can do an additional homing attack check, which is pretty cool. Chaos Snap also does additional damage against enemies, which is nice.
Yeah, and just instantly warps you to the different enemies as well, so the combat is also faster.
It was one death
Dude.
in Silver, one death so far in Shadow. Who knows where it'll
Yeah.
happen in Sonic.
Gotta keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have a run that's too good.
Yeah, we can
Now, where
we
would
can
the guy
get
in
record
Sonic,
in a
I
marathon.
wonder.
Yeah, that would be tragic too, because then we wouldn't be able to verify the IGT unless you had splits open.
Which I don't.
Yeah, in setup, we were talking about how the entire run would just be like low blows for an hour and 20, and I didn't think that you're serious. But
Yes.
it's just been low blows for an hour and 20, or however long we're in so far.
Someone's got to be the punching bag of the community, and unfortunately, my Hawaiian shirt draws a lot of attention. So that
That's what his
section
hang glider?
there,
Goodbye, hang glider.
we avoided all of the level design because there's a little space we can nestle the hang glider between it and the kill plane. So we didn't really have to play it, which is nice. May or may not be the last time we see the hang glider, though. It depends if I feel like skipping it. But here in Section 4 is a unique section of Crisis City between Sonic and Shadows. We haven't seen Sonic's yet, but it's a pretty cool stage here. We actually did this section with Silver as well in Crisis City, and in Silver's case, it's the only time in the game where you start in a section, go to a different section, and then come back to the same section. Since in the original game, Silver was a lot slower than the other two Hedgehogs, they could get a lot more mileage out of the space because, I guess I'm explaining this a little bit backwards, but the stages in Project 06, very similar to Sonic Adventure 1, are divided into, you could call them acts or we call them sections. They all have a letter associated with them, so this is Crisis City Section F, because D is never used, or is unused, and then Section E is actually Sonic's Mach Speed section. But normally, they're labeled in the order that Sonic goes through them. So in Sonic's Wave Ocean, he goes through Wave Ocean Section A and then Section B. And
Hell
so
yeah.
on. Except for Kingdom Valley. Kingdom Valley is a little bit weird. Where he goes A, D, B, C. So I don't know what kind of alphabet they were looking at for that one.
Well, like,
Next
who
is
even
an
decides that the
ancient one.
alphabet is supposed to be ordered like that? Like,
That's
let's be
true.
real.
That's true. Up next, we have
Someone just kind of
Flamethrower.
said that, and everyone agreed for a while.
Yeah, like, kind of rhymed a little bit, so they're like, yeah.
Wait, what did I say?
We weren't talking about you, bro.
Oh, okay. Okay. I heard
Sorry,
Stummo, but I think you said someone.
I said
My bad, dog. Everything's not about me. I know. You know what everything is about right now? Shadow the Hedgehog. So, if Chaos
That's
Boost
that
has
streamer
multiple
segue
levels
right
to it.
there.
Hey, shut up. I'm talking. Anyway, so. Sorry, that was me.
/subscribe.
Come to my stream where we have a warm and friendly and welcoming environment.
All right, to explain Chaos Boost for a second, there are 4 levels Normally there's 3 like in retail, but in Project 06, there's actually a 4th one that Chaos Effects put out for the S rank for War. Now, for the first 3, first one, you have Chaos Boost to allow you to do Chaos Snap. The second level, you are able to do Chaos Lance, which you charge up your Chaos Spear, and it turns into a lance that one-shots the enemy. Third one is Chaos Blast, and the 4th one is literally Inhibitor Rings, which is the coolest thing ever. So flippin' cool. And the best part of it all is that you're invincible until your duration of the gauge runs out. The moment it runs out, you're stun locked for like, I'd say 3 or 4 seconds.
We can bypass that by restarting the section though, which is nice.
Yeah.
A cool thing about
Like
all 3... Sorry, go ahead, Philip.
Alright, something about unlimited mode is you can like imagine it as supersonic, but instead of like rings depleting, it's the meter. So you gotta kill enemies to get the meter to stay up. Now you can go ahead.
Gotta keep defeating enemies to stay up, of course. Anyway,
Yeah,
so...
Good wording.
We're gonna see Rouge once again here, where we have to hit 5 orbs in order to continue on.
There was a joke there, but I'm not gonna be the one.
Listen, we were all...
Guys,
So
don't
these
believe
orbs
the
are actually on a
non-English speaker.
timer. You have 1 minute to hit them all, but we can do it much faster than a minute, so we don't have to worry about it. Switching back to Shadow here. We're gonna see another cage dash coming up, which is pretty cool. Which is right here. Spoke a little too early. We're gonna angle the spin dash just like that, and it's gonna get us to the top, skip some platforming, fall down the stupid fire geysers. Shadow screaming his head off, even though the subtitles do not do that line justice.
That scream was personal.
Yeah, I guess Jason was having a particularly rough day in the booth.
I was trying to figure out that that cage jump for so long. Now I know where it is.
You know, it's not placebo. For some reason, that cage dash is more difficult with the adventure spin effect. I don't know why, but Shadow just does not angle upward as consistently with it. I really don't know why, because they're all functionally the same. Yes, I'm for real.
Bro, the work's
I
bad.
have had the worst luck with the adventure ball. I'm not memeing.
The hitbox might actually be slightly different. I'll have to look into that. That sounds really funny. Anyway, for this stage, the entire gimmick is Eggman's trying to get away from us, and to stop him, we have to beat up his train, because that's how locomotives work. We used to be able to skip this, but
it's okay. Old man's just reminiscing in the good old 4.6 days when it was full of glitches.
back in my day, bro. Back in my day, the game.
2 people in this call have been running the game longer than you.
Back in his day, he liked being toxic, having all the leaderboards for him.
Yeah, 7 and I have been running the game longer than you.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry,
I'm
Philip.
also here.
And Philip's here to explain this cool reference to Shadow the Hedgehog 2005.
Wow. So in Shadow 5, when your like dark energy meter, I don't know what it's called, is full, and he goes into his like super red state, all the ammo in his weapons and vehicles he gets infinite ammo, and that is referenced here, where you get infinite ammo if
It also
you're in
happens
Chaos
with the blue
Boost.
one.
Yeah, with the blue one as well.
Oh, look at that. We have one of the people on the Project 06 dev team, Beats, calling us wafflers. Love the support from the dev team.
Yeah, sorry for trying to explain
They're all
the
such
game.
nice people.
Don't worry, Beats. You'll get the blue waffle and the Sonic same core.
It is true. Looks like there's some huge reference. So much like Silver, which actually makes sense because they share this stage. This stage is extremely combat heavy, and we're gonna see uninhibited mode not once but 2 times, if I'm not mistaken. Or you're just gonna press.
You are mistaken.
I'm an old man. I haven't played.
What were you
this
saying?
That is an old route.
I've just been watching Shadow breakdance for the last 20 seconds.
Silver.
Hey, it's Silver again. You guys remember him? He's here. For a cameo.
No, I don't remember him. I forgot about him.
Something funny about this section that is not showcased anywhere else in this story is that you can, like with certain objects, you don't even have to throw them at enemies. Like those spike balls just have a constant hitbox and they insta-kill everything. It's so funny.
Someone wasn't watching when I did that in Silver Kingdom Valley.
What?
You could never be mistaken.
I think I understand why y'all said top runners and then Reverie.
Yeah.
I just don't play Shadow.
I'm bad for doubting.
It's okay. It
Slander is
happens.
insane. Dude, you don't even do Chaos Blast either? This category's washed.
Yeah, we don't use that
tornado press the
anymore.
B button.
Good.
You just press the B button, bro.
During my zoning out, I don't know if anyone explained it, but I'll just abridge it real quick, is the tornado kick does 2 points of damage, and while an enemy's within its hit radius, it constantly damages them about every quarter second. The most amount of health we see in this game is 6 HP, so we can defeat the strongest enemy in Shadow's story with that move in 3/4 of a second. So it's pretty ridiculous. We got some cool combat coming up here, though, that doesn't use the tornado kick.
Thank God. Thank God this stage, because this has pretty much always been in the run, and it's so sick.
The only cool part of the stage. Whoops. God, that guy was still alive.
They messed it up.
Another neat thing is that 4.6, Shadowrunners try to use the kick, and as long as they were just inside an enemy that had a lot of health and just kicked, it was able to delete the enemy, that it was technically a faster method to take them out. But now that Silver release, you can actually move while you spin kick. It's just the new way of combat. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
it's like
and
one
on top of
change
that,
just completely broke the move.
you can keep pressing the B button up to 3 times and it increases the radius, including above and below Shadow. It's the only move in the entire game, I believe, that can actually hit below terrain. It's just so ridiculous. Oh, see you later, Gollum. So what I'm doing here is normally you're supposed to hop on a hang glider and do this section with that, but you can actually complete it without using the hang glider. It's about 30 seconds slower, but it's kind of swag, so it's time neutral.
Yeah, you gotta get swag points.
I've never seen him do that before.
Sometimes he just kind of walks off. It's pretty funny.
Of course, Reverie wouldn't know about the swag. That's all I'm saying.
It's true, it's true.
Additionally, getting slope jumps off of slope terrain, I just got a slope jump off of the needle sticking out of that umbrella. It's kind of crazy what you can do in Project 06
really,
with the physics.
Really threaten the needle. Left, please.
I hate this guy.
Nope.
Boo.
Get off the stage, bro.
It'd be a shame if I died right now.
You're scaring me.
Let's go.
Okay, we did it.
Died, so we're good.
Don't die to the
Hands
camera
off the
volume.
control stick. Hands off the control stick. All right.
Okay.
Swag
let's go.
achieved.
We need a.
And now even
we need
more
Omega.
swag because it's Omega time.
Oh
we
my
need
god,
a
let
poll
him cook.
for the next story between Sonic and.
The last story.
Don't you switch to the original game? We could do it between Sonic and Gemless.
Oh no!
There is enough time.
No.
Yeah.
Is there?
What is the
But a
estimate
quick-
for this run? Hour 20, right?
Hour 20. Yeah.
Hour
Yeah,
20,
something like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, we
Like,
got
quick
plenty of time then to do
explanation
Gemless
of,
if we want.
Quick explanation of Omega is that he's kind of a combination of his playstyle on Sonic Heroes and the SA2 mechs, I would say, because he has the little pointer that he can point and shoot. But we won't be seeing him for much more of this stage.
Yes, we're single-handedly saving the environment by not using the vehicles. You're correct.
Yes.
Dude, the carbon emissions on those things has to be crazy.
Low
So
carbon
normally
percent.
you're dropped into this wide open section of Wave Ocean. It's pretty fun to explore, but the switch is always in the same spot. So since Philip told me where it was before I started this run, we can just
no
spin
problem,
that
bro.
straight to it. Now, if you remember back in Blaze's Wave Ocean, I said we're going to use the slope of the wall in order to get an extra jump. We just used the exact same part that we used with Blaze right there in order to go into some more expanded level design. A lot of love for Wave Ocean in this project.
Yeah, and you can see the love in also the skybox, because every Hedgehog story, the skybox is like a different time of day in Wave Ocean, which is a really cool detail. Like for Shadow it's sunset, I believe, and then for Blaze it's sunrise.
I believe you're
Sonic
looking
it's
at
day.
it.
Yeah, I didn't remember if it was sunrise or sunset. I didn't remember which one it was. Whoa.
I was like, why is this guy going around that way?
Hover car cameo.
Jump scare.
Jump scare.
Guess that was all right.
Yeah.
B rank. Come on
The
now.
graphics of this game look incredible, and the fact that I'm not even on max settings is fantastic.
So if you liked Omega, don't worry. We're going to see a lot more.
Don't worry.
In Omega's Dusty Desert.
So this is our
actually
final
Omega's
vehicle section of Shadow's run, and normally we're supposed to snake around the left side of the level design over there and go through a bunch of pillars to open the door, but thankfully the trigger to open the door is just right behind this breakable wall. So we can just hover right to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, usually
Chaos
only
X.
activates after you go through the previous set of pillars, but I don't know if he forgot to make it not always active or if he intentionally did that, but either way, we're very grateful because that's actually would suck.
Tornado
God
kick
we don't
invalidating combat once again. Oh, sorry, Seven, go ahead.
Everything
Love that
just
move.
dies instantly.
Seven, what were you saying?
Thank God we don't have to deal with RNG and S1 IO.
Yeah, that's true. The uppercut can be pretty unruly.
Up next, we have Omega once again, and you actually get to see more of his combat actually appear. And a lot of his combat, as well as just movement, is just actually pretty tight. Making sure that you get the lasers right on all the enemies as much as possible. Like in this room, you got to make sure all the enemies are cleared out to open the door. And once you actually get it all out, you have to make sure that you also have your hover gauge to make sure you're up and able to kill them. If not, then you're kind of to get all the way back up there just to kill them again with the lasers.
The only drawback with Omega, other than the fact that he can't spin jump, is that his airspeed's pretty bad. However, sort of mitigates that, but it's still not nearly as good as the other characters.
Yeah. And now we get the coolest move in the game. The Gatling gun mode. He can pew all the enemies and they die. It's really cool.
That's a weird way to say supersonic.
This is just like Plants vs.
Amazon speech
Zombies.
bubble.
Wait, who's arguing with Beats? Oh, Rev is arguing with Beats
Me.
in chat
Just
while
business as usual.
commentating. It's beautiful.
Multitask.
And of course, Rev would say 4.6 immediately, bro. It cannot leave him.
That's where all my knowledge on chat, on like, bro.
Omega's done it. Let's
And that's why you're here commentating the most recent release of the game with us.
Yes, I only play Sonic, bro. Don't.
Being a menace on
It's okay,
comms,
we're
being a
getting
menace
there,
in
we're getting
chat.
there. Did we actually do a poll for any percent versus Gemlin?
No.
Please no.
Please no.
No!
Please
But it's
no.
what's hot in the community
Old
right
man,
now.
pull out the gems, please.
If you want to
I'm
join the
begging.
BO6 speedrunning community, literally any of my YouTube videos have a link to it. Even if you don't watch them, you can access the link whenever. I forgot to give Richard the link, so that's my bad.
Where's the unleash percent, bro?
No.
Well, that's on my second channel, youtube.com/@thestelmo show.
This guy.
Subscribe.
Slash
I mean, he gave me the layup. I just took it.
That's true.
Looks like we need to find
Our extra stage for Shadow's story is Rouge's Tropical Jungle. It's another key hunt. Unlike Kingdom Valley, where all three of the keys were randomized.
Oh,
Unlike Kingdom Valley,
talk
where all
about
three
that,
of the
or-
keys were randomized.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna move on.
Only two of the keys are randomized here. The last key's always in the same spot, which is nice. Have a 1 and 9.
I believe what Stelmo did there was like RNG manipulation to get the good key set.
I fat fingered the X button. Whoops.
Again, RNG manipulation.
Are we gonna talk about that?
Go for the
or-
IL set.
yeah, we get to see more key locations. Let's go.
Yeah, it's intentional.
I'm just trying to get a better key set.
Gotta get the IL.
I need
The sad
Shuffle's
part's
opinion
this
right
run's
now.
still going to be like 5 minutes underestimate with how bad it is. Just how bad I was at all stories when I submitted this.
Woo for improvement.
Oh, come on.
It was IL set.
Oh, it was?
No.
That's not the
No, that's
the
not the
IL
IL
set is a different one, which I don't
No,
believe.
it's a different. It's a different.
I'm
one's
still in
different.
denial that that's actually the fastest key set, but
It looks like we need to
I'll take the people who are better at the game than me's word for it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Seeing Rouge's
Yeah, I
bombs
reckon
right
you get a
here,
piece
they
of
kind of work
Yeah.
like Shadow's Chaos Spear, except they're bombs. So they're a little bit cooler. That completes Shadow's story. Hooray.
Hooray.
Thank God it's over,
Omega.
man.
Yay! Goodbye, Omega. Yep, we won't be seeing Omega or
Omega.
Rouge ever again.
No.
They vanished from
Thank
the
God.
story. But it's Sonic time now.
It's a piece
Yes.
Sorry, where can I find your content on YouTube? Oh, well, thank you for asking, random chatter.
Let's get going.
I stream Monday through Friday in the afternoon, twitch.tv/Stelma98. And then I have 2 YouTube channels. Main YouTube channel is just my name, Stelma98. And then second channel is called The Stelmo Show. If you're interested in Project 06, I played a little bit.
Shill successful.
On to
Anyway.
Sonic. So Sonic works functionally a lot like Shadow, except instead of having the Chaos Spear, he has the bounce attack. He also doesn't have the tornado kick. He just has a standard spin kick. But the main thing that sets him apart are the gems. So the gems are like 8 different hunks of rock that you can equip one at a time on Sonic's shoes, and it gives him a different ability. So I was using the blue gem there. Blue gem grants us a burst of speed, which is a little bit different from the spin dash, but we'll talk about its differences later. And his new game plus, or all S rank item you can find, is the rainbow gem, which allows him to transform into Super Sonic. Cool detail about this is that Silver's ESP mode is governed by the maturity meter. Shadow's uninhibited mode is governed by the action gauge, and Super Sonic is governed by the rings. So all 3 of the resources in Project 06 are kind of spread out in different ways, which is kind of neat. Here's Tails. He can fly.
There go Tails.
And there goes Tails.
And there.
No way.
Goodbye, Tails.
If only he had a longer section of Wave Ocean.
If only.
I would love that.
One of the very neat things about Rainbow Gem as well is when you turn into Super Sonic, right before you go to the Mach Speed section, you actually stay as Super Sonic. But this is only your one-time chance to stay that way. The moment you die or restart, you lose it. You have to restart the stage just before you turn Super Sonic again. And the major thing about it is that when you're Super Sonic and Mach Speed, you gain a 10% speed. You go just super duper fast. And it seems, honestly, a little bit of time that helps.
Yeah, or as Rory would say, 3 times as fast.
That's what it feels like, all right? Don't.
The joke is that Super Sonic's only about 10% faster than regular Mach Speed Sonic. Is this worth it?
It is.
Oh.
I like
Crazy
it with the
failed
joke
it in
just
a
a little
good
bit too soon. But we didn't die, which is the best outcome. So
Yeah, honestly.
You didn't go
I have
backwards.
only died 1 time in every story so far.
That is.
So far.
So,
Are we gonna?
no, we're not gonna.
Okay.
That was Rouge wanted to take a swim.
Yeah.
Drake Lily.
And to be fair, I've only died once in every story as the main Hedgehog, which is the important truth.
Drake Liliati gif. So now we're in the 3rd of Sonic's 4 playstyles because they were like, yeah, let's just make you play these things that you don't want to play as. Right now we're playing as a
Play
as a
Project 06,
heavily,
everyone. It's really good.
We're playing as a heavily neutered version of Sonic. We literally only have access to the homing attack, the slide, and this shield that allows us to run on quicksand and water for some reason. So the
mad
optimal movement while we're carrying Elise is literally just light dash into anti-grav slide, and that's it. Thankfully, the levels here are... We can make use of our limited moveset really well in the 2 levels that we play as this.
Do they kiss in this game?
player. No.
No.
Unfortunately.
What? What?
I wouldn't go that far. Hold on.
Hold on.
Get him out.
Back it up, Mods.
Mods, crush his skull. Thank you.
Entering White
And-
Acropolis, I recommend getting your cat gems and cat jams and cat jams out for this one because the soundtrack here is great. We've heard it 2 times before, but the meme happens in Sonic stories. So
Release it right at the jump ramp.
we're seeing Snowboard, so
No!
4th of his gameplay styles. Works very similar to Sonic Adventure 1.
I started spamming cat jam and I got auto-modded.
GDQ couldn't
job.
handle the party.
You've been found. Crush his skull, bud. Now.
The mods, they did it. Yeah, this is the 4th of his gameplay styles, and for whatever reason, the last 2 that we saw, this one and the Princess, are only used twice, both of them.
Thankfully, I would say.
Yeah,
Say
they're not.
Snowboard's that bad.
Now that's
Yeah, it's just not very
alright.
engaging. The only really thing you can do to speed yourself up is just mash the X button, which is a kick that puts you at top speed. And in this section specifically, you can sometimes bunny hop to get extra speed from whatever it is. Like the terrain is extremely bumpy. That outsourced collision that we were talking about earlier allows you to get some extra speed sometimes.
Oh yeah.
That was the saddest yeah ever. Holy.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing here is our main method of movement, blue gem spin kicking. So the gems use up the action gauge, and the blue gem gives us that burst of speed, and the spin kick maintains that speed, like we talked about way back with Blaze, where she had a move called the Crow Attack that could maintain her speed from speed sources. And the nice thing is 2 spin kicks is enough time for the meter to refill past the point that you use the blue gem. So you can essentially just blue gem infinitely, which is really nice.
Very, very useful.
Faster than the spin dash because while the spin dash immediately decays its speed once you release the button, the blue gem has a timer that just sets you at a higher max speed, which that timer lengthens as you increase its level. Because how the maturity meter works for Sonic is that every 3 energy cores we receive, our currently equipped gem will level up, and we can level it up to level 3, just increases the potency of its attacks. Or potency of its skill, I should say. They're not all attacks.
And also, you actually can't reach the spin dash speed cap if you're spin dashing on flat ground. You can only reach it if you're spin dashing down a slope.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
At least I assume. I just learned that right now.
Shadow?
Shadow!
Oh my god, look at Shadow!
With good enough spam dashing, you can like barely reach the cap, but you only stay there for like a fraction of a second, and then you immediately dip back.
Is the spin dash cap? I don't think the spin dash cap is the same. I think it's 5
No, it's
meters.
Yeah, it's 50 meters per second for spin dash, and then 55 for blue gem.
That's fair.
45 for spin dash.
That's Shadow. Shadow is 46.
I thought it was 2.
It was at least 2.
Yeah, I
Maybe
know
in
it's
the
like 3 or 4
original.
at least.
All right, it's meme time
true.
again. So coming up here, I do a special little trick, which is totally not voluntary time loss. Let's get the 360. Ooh. Nice.
Good job.
Can you like a
breath there.
kickflip?
3
or-
seconds. Unfortunately not.
No kickflips in this game? Oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Well, he's not on a skateboard, to be fair. He's just on a piece of metal
That is true.
with no wheels.
I've seen someone do a kickflip off of a YouTube play button, so I don't know.
That's pretty cool. Need to figure out how the maturity meter works.
My apologies.
I got a comment. I need to figure out how the maturity meter works. Well, thankfully, if you're talking about Project 06, you got 4 people who knows how it works.
Yeah.
So for Sonic, I explained earlier that when you collect energy cores, it's going to fill up a third of the way. When you collect 3, it's going to level up our gem a level, which you can see visually in the bottom right. The maturity meter is below the action gauge, which is the big glowy bar up top. And then the little tick marks below the gem icon are the levels of the gem. For Shadow, the maturity meter serves as when it's filled, you can go to the next level of Chaos Boost. And for Silver, it governs the amount of time you can use ESP mode for. The more you fill up the meter, the longer you can use ESP mode. Fill it depletes.
Right here, we're going to be seeing the first cameo of any gem other than blue gem.
Oh, we have Rainbow
Just the
Gem.
purple gem. Oh, true, rainbow gem. And, all of the important gems. So, purple gem gives us an additional jump for every level. So, at level 1, it's 1 extra jump, 2 extra jumps, etc. And a level 3 lets you go invisible, which is not useful, but cool.
Yes. Hardest section in Sonic's story right there.
Oh yeah.
It's a
This one
clincher for
is,
sure.
Yeah, it's on a cycle and it's really difficult.
Yeah, and we jump on a lot of terrain that you're not supposed to jump on, so the collision's not as smooth.
That, and also you have a one-time chance to have like above 50 rings with a good time, because the moment you die, you just lose all those rings and you can't turn super for this one monster section.
Yeah.
True.
And I believe this is the section where Supersonic saves the most time.
Yeah, because this is just a straight
Literally
line.
a straight line.
Plus you have
Yeah, I
all
also
this
believe-
junk, which regular Mach Speed Sonic, when you use a light dash, he actually gains an additional Mach state. We call it Mach 3. And he can blast through most objects, like wooden boxes and such. But the tornado throws stuff at you, and it can snipe you with like a truck or something. Thankfully, Supersonic mitigates that by being invincible, of course.
I also believe this section is based on the mobile game Sonic Dash, where you run in a straight line.
It is true.
somehow went back in time.
Yeah.
Rip Sonic Dash.
Is it dead?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Sega just
I
likes to
think it's
kill
all
all
about
of their-
Sonic Forces Speed Battle.
Yeah, they just
Actually,
like
it's
to
called Sonic
kill.
Forces Mobile now.
I think they put
Really?
Phyllis in that game or something like that.
Phyllis the Dark.
Here's a trick called Blue Waffle. That's pretty cool. What? I stole your thunder? My bad.
No, you can't call. Never mind. Use the boost of a blue gem against the wall in order to.
Oh.
My bad.
In order to gain a bunch of height.
This runs
Because like how I
soft
said, the
side
blue gem gives it speed instantly. Being able to use it right against that wall there allows us to get a huge amount of vertical height. Because the blue gem actually retains some of its speed, whereas the spin dash doesn't, because when Sonic goes off a ledge with the spin dash, it breaks him out of spin. The blue gem actually continues like giving you that additional speed even when you're in the air, even though you can only activate it on the ground. So. Seeing the purple gem once more. We have it at level 3. When you increase the level of the purple gem, you get an additional jump. At level 3, you get 3 extra jumps. Hey, got a slope jump there. It's a very wacky slope jump. I don't know why it works, but it works.
Let's go.
There's a lot of slope jumps that we don't know why
The
work.
slightest curve will just send you way up for no reason.
The speed shoes that we got there, they, instead of like, I guess sort of just increasing the ground speed cap like it does in other Sonic games, it also increases our airspeed cap, and we can use 3 extra jumps, so it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's the combat-focused character of the game, Knuckles. He can glide. That is the only thing you'll
That's
do.
it?
Is
Yo,
him.
sick.
No, he
I
has the
love
ground
Sonic
pound, bro.
story.
Yeah, he has the ground pound as well.
Back to Sonic.
Got it. Let's go. Back to Jeff. Peak.
Sonic and Shadow's Flame Core are the 2 like closest stages in the game in terms of level design. There's very few differences between them. Shadow just has more enemies and they're generally more difficult. But yeah, finish that up. And now we're headed on to Radical Train. Radical Train is probably the strongest stage between all 3 characters. It's pretty fun to run through regardless who you're playing as. And we get another
Maybe-
Mach
Sorry,
Speed section.
I zoned out after you said Shadow.
Radical
All the
Train.
fixes there are in PO6, there's still a bunch of jank. I wouldn't really call it jank. It's more just kind of exploiting the physics system. And you can only do so with an extreme circumstance like the blue gem. Like all of these gems that Sonic has, they're scattered throughout his stages, so you don't even have them at the very beginning of the game. So you just have to rely on spin dashing and stuff. But Project 06 is overall an extremely solid game.
Oh yeah. And
Been in-
speaking of the gems,
You did not
that
do that.
was wacky. But speaking of the gems being scattered around, this is actually in the 100% category. This is the first stage you do because it has the purple gem. The combination with the speed shoes allows you to like fly through the level, as you'll see right here. Even without wings, I can still fly.
Thanks for clarifying and explaining. Yeah, no
Right.
problem. That's what I'm here for. I do play this game for a living, so I would hope I know something, a thing or two about it.
Of course, we also had to showcase the yellow gem for a second there with the extra shield.
Yeah, totally not a misinput. The yellow gem is extremely useful for newcomers when trying to get S ranks, because instead of taking rings while you have the shield active, it absorbs the damage and also attracts in nearby rings. Unfortunately, you can't use it in Mach Speed sections, so it's a little bit tough there, and since you have to get the S ranks in order to get the rainbow gem for Supersonic, you don't have Supersonic while you're trying to get the S ranks, of course, so
At
it
least
can be a little bit tricky.
At least normal shields actually do carry on from normal stage 2 Mach Speed, so you can at least have an extra hit whenever you come in there.
No sweat.
True.
Tropical Jungle, the second stage for the Sonic and Elise combo.
Oh boy.
Yay!
Let's run straight up.
The worst part about it too is that these stages are honestly really cool level design wise. Section 1 here of Tropical Jungle, or Section A I should say, has a lot of automation, but Section 2 is really open and Dusty Desert is extremely open. So kind kind of a shame that we play as a butchered Sonic moveset, but the slide kick gets use. Yay.
The slide kick is really good.
Sonic does have it in his base moveset, but there's basically no reason to use it, as Blue Gem spin kicking is really good.
Yeah.
It also just doesn't preserve speed as well as normal as like the Princess anti-grab for some reason. Like the slide when you're using the Princess is just buffed. It's just straight better.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Along with being tied to a better input, because as normal Sonic you have to hold B, whereas with this you just press it.
I did not know that either.
And even to
Probably
go
don't
off
know
of that, it's like you try to compare, and when you do Sonic just spin dashing or even blue gemming, and then trying to do anti-grab, immediately your speed is halted.
Yeah, it has a super low
I
speed
guess the
cap
old
with normal
person
Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
here maybe knows a thing or two.
I remember
Respect
doing
your
science
elders,
on it a while
Yeah.
ago.
Ref is the youngest one here.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But here in Section 2, we are navigating between multiple pathways. I went from the bottom route to the middle route, back to the bottom, and now I'm on the top route, headed to the goal ring. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool routing for the final section here.
Since Sonic is carrying a human, does that mean he has human teeth?
What?
What?
Where did that come from?
Chat said that, not me.
Okay.
You could have started off with that. Someone from chat said, no.
Chat GPT, write something that would get streamers' attention.
We don't have time.
Wait,
not
no,
even
I have
sure
to
that
do
would
the cool
work.
thing. Hold on.
Oh my god.
What is this guy doing?
There we
We
go.
don't have time.
So before
Let's
this
get to the race
cutscene,
right
you
away.
can mash the right D-pad and activate Blue Gem before the cutscene starts.
Oh, but it doesn't fill up the meter. That's sad. I thought it would actually fill up the meter.
If it did, that'd
I'd
be
like,
sick, but the
that would be so cool.
action gauge is
Yeah.
interesting in how it's programmed, in that it only fills up naturally when the HUD is active. But it will fill up from energy cores. So, like, when we played as Amy, way back in Silver's story, Amy doesn't have an action gauge. Well, okay, so technically she does, but she doesn't use it, and therefore it's not on the HUD. However, all the energy cores we got from the enemies filled it up, so that when we switched back to Silver, he had a full meter. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of Silver, here he is again.
Over my boy.
Silver.
Silver. Silver the Hedgehog.
Hello.
We get to see ESP mode yet again.
4 a.m. commentary.
Yeah.
Yep.
5:30 at this point.
Yep.
Now the question is,
you
do
going to
you
bed
go
after
back to
this, or are you
sleep or do you
just-
stay up? Yeah, that's exactly what I
Yeah,
was
are
going
you
to
just
ask.
thugging it out after this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
He does a shadow 80%, I'm sure.
Do we get a chat
Shadow
poll on
on
this?
this.
Start doing. Yeah, does Philip go to sleep after this run?
Yeah, can we get a poll in chat?
Options: thug it out or tonk shoe. Me.
Oh, not again.
Thug it out or honk shoe.
I was made aware as to what that donation was asking after the run because I had no idea.
Let's try
You don't know what
You
Honkshoe
didn't
is?
know?
I didn't know at the time of the run. No.
What tongue shoe?
It's like this meme where
It's like cartoonish sleeping noises, like yawning or snoring
no.
noises.
yeah.
Great news. The poll's up.
Oh, let's go. Let's.
Philip is sleeping
Go.
or Philip is awake.
Alright, we got castle skip going on. We're gonna use level 3 rainbow gem, which level 2 allows you to have a little bit more speed and jump higher. Level 3 does the arrow of light, where you actually get to boost and also cool sell little pogs. Let's go, castle skip.
Castle skip. Between
That's included in the supersonic package.
even though Sonic's section in Kingdom Valley and Silver's story and this one, the castle skip portion is identical. We do it in 2 different ways. One, because we can get the rainbow gem to level 3 for that arrow of light. We also need it at level 2 for the additional jump height to get up to the platform. You can't do that in Silver's story because Sonic just doesn't deal with enough enemies to where it would save time. Because the interesting thing about Supersonic and why we pretty much only use them for Mach speed sections is that we have to figure out that do we save more time than it takes to transform into him? So thankfully the answer is yes for
transformation-
Mach speed, at least we think.
The transformation takes 3.5 seconds, so
I don't know, with how close gemless wave ocean is getting to any percent wave ocean. I don't know. Might not be
I
faster.
can definitely get a 207. I don't know about any lower though.
Poor Philip. You're forced to stay up, man.
Bro, six.
Yeah, the chat is really.
It was not close.
Yeah, it is 26-6 right now. They hate you, bro.
All right, sounds like
Right,
we're
I'm
going
never
live
sleeping
after
again.
this.
I'm never sleeping again in my life.
Rare midnight stream with Coke.
Yo, I just got my newsletter
That was incredible.
Yes, dude.
for the next game, Sonic X Shadow Generations,
Wishlist now on Steam.
or the Epic Games Store.
Once again, the Sega narc strikes again.
Oh gosh.
I wasn't used to hearing that because I totally thought you were gonna say something along the lines of like going to a certain YouTube channel to find something about this game that's on the screen.
Go on to Chaos X's YouTube channel.
on Wishlist PO6 on Steam. So Aquatic Base is the final level, final main level of Sonic's story. We got one more after this, but it has been pushed down significantly. So before I went to SGDQ and did this run there, the IL time, which stands for individual level, it's when you just run one of the levels in the game. It was a 251 or 252, and it's been pushed down to a 237, which doesn't sound like too crazy if you're not familiar with the game. But the craziest part is that Aquatic Base is a linear stage. So it's not just about, hey, can you do the skips? It's can you do literally every piece of the movement well? Because anytime you mess up, you are losing time.
Not even
And
well,
you can't
but
really make it up.
perfectly.
Yeah, it's perfect, yeah, essentially.
What's also more insane about the movement is that you'll find during runs of either Sonic, Shadow, or Blaze, you're trying to lock onto something, and then you would rock onto something else. That, or you're trying to do a certain movement, and you can't even do that certain movement because since the homing attack was already locked onto something else, it would go that direction instead. So there will be times when an enemy is right in front of you, but you have to be high enough right above the door. That way you can get that like homing attack and then get the momentum from there and just pass by. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a very common problem in Aquatic Base to accidentally lock onto things.
Especially because these corridors are so narrow.
And enemies everywhere.
Yeah, it definitely gets final level status. Even though Kingdom Valley was maybe better thematically.
Anyway, we're gonna have another look at the combat-focused character of the game, Knuckles.
Yeah, the
There are
only
a lot of
combat
enemies in this
character.
section, and
Beat him up, Knuckles.
dude, you have to kill the enemies. Where are you going?
Dude, what do you mean?
Dude, you have to kill the enemies.
What do you mean?
we got
Switch is right here,
Dude, the
guys.
switch doesn't spawn
Guys,
until you.
guys, it's right.
No.
We already did that joke in GDQ.
Okay, my bad.
It's okay.
My fault.
They can't hurt you anymore.
Ooh, I hate
Ooh,
you.
side platforming.
Yeah, I played this game once or twice.
A couple times.
Not
That's my
that any of
second
my
playthrough.
runs would reflect that, though. Seeing the green gem here, haven't seen that yet. Green gem initiates a whirlwind kick, which is kind of like Sonic's tornado kick, but it's not nearly as good. He stays still while using it, and you have to level it up to do insane damage. We can see our
Well, if it
two
looks
other
like you're
gems,
staying
though,
awake.
that we didn't see throughout the run. One of them is the red gem. Red gem slows down time, everything including Sonic, so it's not terribly useful. And then the yellow gem that got a little bit of show time is that Thunder Guard that I mentioned. Oh yeah, we have the white gem too. White gem changes Sonic's homing attack into the homing smash, which is kind of neat. It has a little bit of use speedrunning wise, but it's very technical and saves a marginal amount of time. So it's only at like the highest of high level of play that you have to use white gem over purple gem to get some aerial distance. Looks cool on Sonic Speed though.
Incredible.
My gem is so rarely used. The fact that it ever gets used at one moment in time is just shocking all the time. You'll never
Oh my
expect
from
goodness, our
grace.
prayers were answered. If you liked Wave Ocean and Tails, well, do I have the final
got a
stage
treat
of the
for
run
you.
for you?
Let's go.
I just
like
want to cut in real
both
quick.
things.
The poll's done, and Oh, it was not close.
Yeah, you're staying awake, buddy.
Philip is awake.
Oh, all right.
Philip is awake, yeah.
This is my fate now.
Well, we can make things a little bit easier if you want. There are some more Easter eggs we can show off.
Show off anything you want. I was literally going to ask you to add any Easter eggs you wanted to show off after you.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
I mean, if you insist.
it's your run, it's my show. I like this game, and you're running this game. So, I mean, it's up to you.
Yo, hype.
Yo, hi,
in this
let's go. We're content.
Are you?
That's me! That's me! He made it. He did it. Where did he?
Sorry, I didn't know it was
Where
on
did he go?
GDQ. My bad.
Yo, P.
He went into like a coma halfway through the run and he should have been autopiloting the whole time.
And that's what happens when you're severely underestimated, Kat.
It's true. I like how there's just literally nothing to talk about in this stage, so we have to make up things to do.
I literally had to leave.
It's
It'll leave for it to be interesting.
It's just so dumb, man.
No. There's something called feathering. Feathering is very, very important. You see, you want to make sure that gauge is all the way up at all times, and as long as you feather, the gauge won't run out any faster. So that way we can make it across anywhere. Let's
Dude,
go.
140? You suck at this. Oh, never mind.
You know, isn't there something up here? Hey, look at that. Secrets.
Cool Easter egg.
That means it's a good Sonic game.
Where's the one up?
And that's time.
GG's.
Woohoo!
I can't believe this
What
this
a
GDQ
run.
Hotfix run had manufactured commentary. No way.
No way.
I can't believe it.
Easter egg time.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, yeah. You can draw off whatever you want for a few minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, all right, sure. So, with the Easter eggs in the extras menu, there's one thing I want to do first before we get started with the Easter eggs. I want to give a thank you to all the people who have worked on this game over the last 7 years and have made it what it is. So, here's the credits. Cool thing about the credits, too, is that this is an original composition by Chaos X called New Future. How appropriate. Yeah, really neat. Has some samples of Dreams of an Absolution in there as well, but we can't get to that part because that's copyrighted, so.
It is a good song.
Wait, I thought Dreams of Absolution wasn't copyright because it's a Sonic.
Actually, no. Dreams of an Absolution isn't copyrighted. It's Sweet Dreams that's copyrighted.
No, Dreams
Yeah,
of
that's what I thought.
Absolution is also copyrighted. Trust me.
What?
I've tried. Even the instrumental is copyrighted.
That's
It's unfortunate.
I can't
That's
say I've ever had a
unfortunate.
video flagged for that because I've run Silver Story in the original game. I don't think it is.
Are you monetized?
Well, no, but it's still
Then
tells
that's
me.
why.
Yeah.
Whenever I post a Sonic PB, it's like copyrighted music. That's what YouTube does, bro.
So,
like,
anywho, I forgot something. So, in the test stage, there's actually multiple sections of it. This is essentially just a playground where you can run around and do stuff. This first section of the test stage here is actually based off of the very, very old Blitz Sonic engine, which was like what the very first Sonic fan games were made in the early 2000s, which is pretty crazy. So I would hedge to guess that even this test stage here predates the original Sonic 06. Pretty wild.
You would hedge to guess.
Yeah, see what I did there? Hey, look, it's Knuckles!
Oh!
So,
the combat-focused character.
in this part of the stage, of the test stage, just a little key hunt with Knuckles. All 3 keys are randomized, like Kingdom Valley. And I don't know where they are. So we're gonna look for them together.
I know where this one is.
Blind playthrough.
Yeah, my blind playthrough. I think it's under here. Yeah. We can just run down here.
that's
This is the
correct.
Adventure
This is-
2 test stage, or a modification of it.
You're about to say that, bro.
Oh, my bad. Here, everyone, here, where's the Neuralizer, the Men in Black? Everyone forget
see
that
that.
for a moment. Okay, Rev, go ahead.
Now the joke's over.
Oh. Well, that's a shame. I think this might be the really high one.
possible.
I didn't
that's
get
a
any
rail.
blips
I
anywhere
forgot
else.
there's a rail that leads up there.
There's the railgun animation.
It would actually suck if this section was in the game because there are certain keys that are just so bad. They're just like atrocious.
Yeah, this one's really bad if we get it.
Test
It is.
stage, then TN.
It is that one. I don't know why it pinged so far away, or so close to it. Gonna see some jump climbing right here.
Look at him go.
Wow, so fast. Now that we got that, we can fall down to this portal. which has invisible walls, by the way, even though the lasers, like, there's clearly an opening, but, yeah, you can't
No
get
way, is
through
this
it.
like a test stage or something?
Yes. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Dude, where are the textures?
That was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are the textures?
Where are-
Is this Green Hill? So,
Green Hill's looking
in
a lot more
the
like
final
test stage
section,
right now.
well, this actually isn't the final section of the test stage, but in the final, like, section with stuff in it, this is a mirror here. This mirror transports us to a menu that was in the Tokyo Game Show 2006 demo for Project 06. And just
Project
to save on
06?
time here, for Sonic, for the original Sonic 06.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, so
It's
it's been
been
re-implemented
developed
here,
for-
and I'll go ahead and let chat choose. Just shout it out which character you want to see, because I don't think we have time to do all three.
I'm not chat, but I think Shadows is the coolest.
Shadow.
Is this End of the World? No, End of the World will not be featured today.
If only.
Yeah, I'm seeing a chat question. It's
Yo,
it's asking
Philip
if
with
this is the end of the
Shadow.
world.
Oh, great. So we'll do Shadow section of Kingdom Valley. So Shadow normally in section B here of Kingdom Valley. Oh, chat was way delayed. In section B here of Kingdom Valley, normally Shadow goes through it backwards, that we did in his story. But in the TGS layout, he goes through it the same way as Sonic. So we are going to attempt a castle skip, though I can really only attempt it one time.
What? There's a spring there? What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Dude, you don't know about the TGS 2006 layout for Shadow?
Can't say I do.
Oh, okay.
Wow, rookie mistake, honestly.
Dude, let this
Yeah.
memory down in comms. Even I knew about that one.
Yeah, come on now.
Yikes.
Don't yikes.
Okay, so we got one shot at this.
Gotta get a slope jump here.
Oh, so close.
okay.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Well,
That
looks
hurt
like
me in
we're
my
just
soul.
taking it.
Yeah. If you were good at the game, you would probably make that. But,
I don't think we can do it. Oh, the eagle is there.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
that
yeah, you
got
could do the
good?
gemless version. That's awesome.
Yeah, I could do the gemless version.
Oh.
in theory.
If he was good at the
that
game.
is-
If he was good at the game, he could do this.
If he was good at the
Y'all just don't see the vision yet.
Yeah, that's true. We
It's
don't.
true. Get to see the automation.
You jump just as you land on a wall. You can jump off of it.
Now, it's kind of weird that the Duke knows so much about these characters that he's never met.
What are you talking
He's
about?
all knowing.
Silver Shadow, not the Duke.
That's fair. Right before he died. Hey, look, the goal ring. But did you know that if you go over here, there are just 3 rings? There's nothing beyond this. There are 3 rings there.
Can you light dash on them?
The more you know.
Is there? If there's a light dash line for it.
That's immediately what I thought of.
Oh my God, there is.
Yep, there is.
That's ridiculous. So
Awesome.
the
This
reason
is the
that's
best Sonic
crazy
game, I
is
think.
that in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, it was, I'm gonna really butcher this, I'm sure Beats will make fun of me, but essentially Sonic teleported to each ring, so they didn't have to code it specifically for every single ring trail for Sonic to be light dashable, but in the original Sonic 06 and Project 06 uses the same system, there has to be a spline coded on that path of rings in order to be light dashable. So interesting that.
Yeah, so you have to manually add it in.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it was a leftover from Sonic Kingdom Valley.
Yeah, so we do have another stage to show off here. What? If we go back to section 2 of the test stage, unfortunately it boots you completely out of the menu. We complete one of these extra stages, so you got to run all the way back. And if we go this way this time,
Oh, I thought you were gonna show the
Yo,
other
Shadow's following
hidden
us.
one.
I love that guy.
there's another hidden stage.
I love that shadow guy.
The one that was
Yeah.
next to Knuckles.
That's so cool.
Connected to Knuckles, there's another portal.
One that involves a car.
Oh, I mean, I guess that's a stage. Yeah. See, got up there. We got another mirror. This mirror takes us to the E3 2006 version of Crisis City, and all of its English as well. I think we will see it when we get up to the bridge portion of this. Hopefully it does. I don't have hit rings on, so it might not work. That road may be able to destroy. Wow.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
It's almost
exactly
like this
what
is
I'm saying.
unfinished.
It's almost like this was a demo made 17 years ago. but we can just finish it right there. And then we got one more thing to show off.
Yeah, this is never ending.
Yeah,
We're here forever now.
We're actually gonna take over the show permanently.
It's the showcase that never ends.
Yeah.
It goes on and on, my friends.
That's what the last release is going to be like. I'm sure we'll be able to sneak an all stories 100% run of that one. All 4 hours of it, probably.
Oh, let's go.
It's a
I wouldn't even be mad.
along the way.
Yeah, it's a good game.
More PO6 content is never a bad thing.
True. Especially when I'm on comms. I mean, because it's a
Alright,
remake
bro.
game.
All I'm saying is I trust Delma with my life, but I don't trust Reverie with my life.
Yo!
I agree.
That's a terrible burden to bear. I went to the wrong place. This is incorrect.
You definitely did.
Muscle memory is a problem.
I don't trust Delma with my life anymore.
Yeah, went to
Well,
the
it was
wrong
short-lived.
place.
Thank goodness.
Thank God Rev won't hedgehog you around anywhere else.
Yeah, Rev would fly like 30 meters past where he needed to be. Too much hedge hopping. So if we activate all 4 of these switches, there's another portal. And this portal brings us to the Sonic and the Secret Rings test stage, or one of them anyway. With Lethal Highway playing in the background, we can do laps around this stage with Shadow's motorbike. Kinda explains a lot how Secret Rings panned out, considering that these are literally roads. So,
Yep.
and
This
yeah, that's
is the
it.
best song in the game, by the way.
It's not even from this game.
Yeah.
That was Project 06. I don't know if my commentators have anything else to say. There are a few more Easter eggs that I didn't show, but I just wanted to show a couple of them.
Subscribe. Play this game. This game. Subscribe.
I haven't seen the light of day in like 4 weeks, bro. Subscribe so he can let me free.
No, play PO6.
It's a really
That is
good
all.
game.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Skybox.
It's a goated game.
Isn't the
Goated
soundtrack?
speedrun.
Some
Okay,
soundtracks
Community. I
of
mean,
the
it's like
stage
alright.
being like Dragon
I
Ball.
mean, it's all right.
Well, where can
If you
everyone
like
find
Dragon
y'all?
Ball, you'll like PO6.
You can
What
find
is
me
this?
literally on Twitch or on YouTube. Just for all these speedruns, I'll be real.
Where can they find you, Rev?
You can't. Good luck.
Nice try. You're not getting that info out of me.
Freaking narc.
What
Not
about,
bad.
What are you, a
you,
cop?
Philip?
Which
Well,
lists Sonic X
personally-
Shadow Generations on Steam.
Well, personally, you can find me on Sonic X Shadow Generation Steam page under twitch.tv/PhilipWasCold and YouTube and Twitter.
Let's go.
I think that's about it.
And then
Alright.
also to follow everyone if you can find them. Good luck. Yeah, we're gonna be taking a quick wellness break. Get up, stretch, by yourself, all that good stuff, and then we're gonna be back in just a few minutes with hopefully less chaotic commentary.
Hopefully.
Hello everyone, welcome to Parallel Universe here on GDQ Hotfix. This is the Hotfix show where you can see all of your childhood favorites, but in new, different ways you might have not seen before. Before we get started, I just want to mention that you can join the official GDQ Discord and get the Hotfix Enjoyer role to see all of the Hotfix specific channels in the GDQ Discord. You can chat with showrunners and all the other people who enjoy Hotfix, and maybe even some runners who are in there. It's a great time in there. It's super chill. And one last thing, you can do !FF and also !PAC to see a couple of events that we have coming up here in just a little bit. But I really want to see the Spyro run. Wed, do you want to introduce yourself and also this fan game?
Hey, that's me. Hey, I'm Wed. I'm here today running Spyro 3.5, Return to the Forgotten Realms. Any percent no sorcerer skip, which is our no major skips category for the run. And with me, I have Nitrox, and JT. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Nitrovsky. I'm also a run of a Spyro. I've done a few runs of 3.5 Return to the Forgotten Realm as well.
And I'm Jeremy, and I've been running Spyro for about 10 years and helped HWD 405 make this ROM hack.
To mention a little bit more about myself, I too have been running this for a while, and I've been running Spyro for 10 years. I mean, all three of us have been really along the ride for the Spyro community for a long time, and are happy to be able to showcase a nice little fan game that we've been able to get work together within the last year. With that, are we all good to go here? The countdown will be a little late, or if it doesn't matter too much, we could just start it right now. We usually do SDA timing.
However you feel.
Do it however you want.
All right. Well, we'll just start it. We'll just start this. We'll get into the cutscenes, and I'll tell you when to start the round. We got, like 45, 50 seconds of cutscenes right now. First is why we tend to get it out. Usually it varies a lot with like load times and stuff, so we get rid of all that potential variance.
Yeah, PlayStation games and loading. Name a better duo.
Oh, it got worse and worse over the years.
It's very true. And HWD and I didn't change any of these cutscenes, so they're just all vanilla.
All right, so we're starting right about now.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess the first thing is to talk about the objective of the run. The category name is called Any Person Nor Sorceress Skip. Colloquially, I refer to it personally as 80 eggs because that's the actual required number of eggs that you need to get to open the sorceress door. And that's basically it. We'll be collecting eggs, the 80 fastest eggs we can think of while we're going through the game, and hopefully not make too much of a blunder at it. So, one thing you'll notice immediately, the levels look similar to the original game. This is basically a kind of first attempt of a mod for Spyro 3. So they weren't really the point where they could do a lot on the modification side. So what's going to be different here is mostly egg locations. As we go forward, you're going to see more and more differences from the original game, but it's always going to be like the original level with just different egg placement and sometimes twists and textures and soundtracks, etc.
Yeah, like Nitroff is mentioning, the fan game making side of the Spyro community is still kind of in its adolescence. Haven't gotten very far in terms of what we're able to do. This ROM hack, or this fan game rather, went a long way in terms of that. And originally HWD had made a randomizer, and that randomizer had different egg locations and had different text sometimes. And I played the randomizer and I messaged him and I was like, could we put some eggs here? It was going to be like a little pet project, and eventually it just snowballed into quite a lot more, 6 months of work and a lot of differences overall, especially as, like Nitroff mentioned, you get later into the game.
So I saw
as you can see, the locations were like not really the kind of locations that you'd see in a normal game. The point of this hack, as far as I can tell at least, was to just showcase as many speedrun tricks and other exploits and glitches as possible. So you'll see like various difficult egg locations that require specific obscure tricks, or like well-known tricks but with like very impressive effects. In fact, coming up soon in this level, there's something that we call Gust Proxy that has been used in the past several times to just show how far, like showcase how far up you can go with the trick. As a kind of fun fact in this game, there's like other games in this generations, there are parallel universes, as they call it. In SM64, for example, the parallel universes are like mostly just collision. In this game, it's the opposite. The collisions are not there, but you can see the entire map appear again, way up in the sky, and it's just a fun challenge that some of us have tried in the past to just get a gust proxy that get us so high up that we reach that parallel universe, and then it takes like minutes upon minutes to go back down. Fortunately, here we had to cut the gust proxy off for speedrun purposes.
If I let it go, I would have been falling for at least a minute.
Yeah.
Outside
just collecting more eggs everywhere.
Outside the start there, it's going pretty well. That the death I had on that method was deliberate and very finicky.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a quirk there, but to get that last egg, you normally have to defeat a specific Rhinoc somewhere in the level. But we found out that if you get a certain egg and then death abuse and respawn, the egg just becomes active for some reason. So that's been part of the route.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like HWD and I, when we were working on concepts, occasionally there were hurdles that we didn't expect to encounter. Some of those are what we call Moby linking. So the Insomniac developers, the creators of Spyro, they called all of the objects Mobies. And when they wanted to create a Moby link, they would say, okay, to get this egg to activate, you need to kill this enemy first. And there wasn't a lot of flexibility in terms of what we were able to do conceptually with Moby links, but occasionally we could work with them and create something a little bit new. In this case, we just moved an enemy. We linked the same enemy, but we moved the enemy. We wanted originally to link all enemies that had those wings in the level. You had to kill them all. We tried, and after just killing one of any of the ones we linked, it would trigger the egg. And so we just kept it as the same one, but there are some weird interactions related to like difficulty and related to what you can do even in the vanilla game with that one. You can knock yourself out of an egg until a death abuse, things like that. And so those hurdles show up in a couple of ways with how things are implemented.
As you can see there, Wed got something that we call swim in air, and with that you can collect basically every egg in this area except for one very quickly. So we obviously make use of that. I suppose it's a good opportunity to mention this mod, when it was first released, was released with kind of a challenge, a race to the finish, and also extra hard challenges. And one of those extra hard challenges is collect every egg in that first homeworld, Sunrise Spring, without using proxies or swim in airs. And I have to say that was probably one of my favorite challenges to complete in this, because it actually required me to think outside of the box and find paths that I didn't know existed. And the platforming is really difficult, but very rewarding when you get to it.
I'll be honest, I never finished that challenge.
Some of the challenges were pretty brutal.
This one, the one in Sunrise Spring, I think is one of the more brutal ones, actually.
My favorite one, I think, was the Crystal Islands one. I really liked that one when I was wrapping it up.
I agree. That's also really fun. Anything that, got you to do some platforming without using the usual exploits that you do in this game. I mean, you'll be able to see we just go flying by using enemy corpses as springboards. Those exploits, they're really useful for speedruns, but they also trivialize a bunch of things if you get good at them. Whereas the tight platforming is always a fun challenge.
Yeah. And Nightroff alluded to the reason why we ended up making the fan game as we did. And it really was like with any game that people do speedruns of, there's so much depth in terms of the strats that exist. But sometimes once the record gets fairly optimized, everyone's doing the same strats and it's all very similar strats. If you can get a proxy, you can get a lot of height in some way or get a swim in air, then you get to the end of the level and that's just what you're going to use. But there are so many other opportunities to do cool things in the game that aren't incentivized. And so the goal was to incentivize those so we could offer kind of a new experience. The players that have been playing the game for years and years, or even players that are just getting into the idea of speedrunning. And for those newer players, we added like Zoe text that would tell them how to do things. Like, this is how you proxy, this is how you swim in air, go try it. And it was very rewarding to see people that had never played Spyro 3 within the context of a speedrun pick up the ROM hack and learn how to do it, and then later on do speedruns of Spyro 3 vanilla.
Yeah, I think that's super cool having like
chat.
player expression and stuff, just because that is like one of my favorite things in like all of speedrunning, like ever. I think it's so cool that this was made with that in mind.
Mm. I did see in chat someone mentioning the fact that the egg names are community members. Not all of them, but yes, all egg names have been, except for one, all egg names have been customized. Most of them are either community members or some of the developers from the original game.
My favorite community member.
But there are also
Larry's not a community member, by the way.
There are also a few other like I guess Easter egg in the egg names. There are, for example, 3 eggs in the game, 3 or 4, I think it's 3, that are hidden in chests, and their names are names of well-known magicians.
Copperfield.
Yeah.
There's that one level that's Aztec themed, and the names are Aztec deities, I think.
We got Future Ruins, where all of them are named after doctors from Doctor Who.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun with the naming. We wanted obviously to include the community, because the community is, for Spyro, we're pretty tight. Like, there are a lot of friends, a lot of friend groups in the community, but we all love the game and we all care about each other, and in often cases known each other for like 10 years at this point or more. Nitrov's been around more than that. Yeah, obviously want to pay homage to the developers as well, and then have some fun. One that I thought was fun as well in Sunny Villa. There are 2 eggs in the game. They're usually in Sergeant Bird's base, but Insomniac named them Siegfried and Roy. Those are famous lion tamers. So HWD 405 and I decided, why not put the lion tamers in Sunny Villa, because the NPCs are lions. So we kept a couple of names if we could put them in spots that were either funny to us or made sense.
That was a super risky decision, I feel like, for me going for that on No Lies.
It paid off.
So I just did a glitch there called Zombie, which was me dying during the offset frame between the game recognizing me as dead and actually killing me, which, along with me not being able to get any fodders or pause my game, it allows me to do this. Because the game does, because I'm considered dead to the game right now, it doesn't, take in any state changes. So, you saw me, kind of avoid and do some extra movement to get over some water before entering this level. That's because I would have gone straight through the water and wouldn't have been able to pause my game, and would have just been soft locked down there.
That Moxie egg, by the way, is the slowest egg, as we know, in the route right now, but there's nothing better.
That cutscene right there puts me out of Zombie, because whenever a black screen cutscene happens, the game does a check again to see if you're alive, and the game realizes, oh, you're alive, but you don't have sparks, so you're not zombied anymore.
You might also wonder, while you're watching this, how the heck did these runners find the eggs in the first place? And one tool that HWD and I put in so that it wasn't just blindly searching is, in the real game, there are atlas clues that you unlock when you collect one of the eggs. A new atlas clue emerges. So we changed all of those atlas clues to refer to what we thought was the most interesting way to collect the egg in question. And so some runners had an idea of where an egg might be, because you find a 6th spot, Jeremy and HWD probably put something there. But also there are clues in the atlas for the eggs specific to this fan game.
Also, as you might have noticed, we don't fight bosses in this. those eggs, that egg that Wed just collected is actually meant to be hidden originally, and Jeremy and HWD actually put some kind of treasure hunt quests in there where you can find some hidden Zoes throughout the game that actually tells you where the next Zoe location is to eventually learn about these hidden eggs in all of the boss levels.
Hey, Spyro!
It was a very interesting touch.
It's the only category in any version of this game that we open that door with a rock. Fun fact.
I see.
Skip the whirlwind here.
See somebody saying, "Is this a mod?" Because I don't remember Spyro being green. If you remember way back in the day, before Spyro was even released, if you didn't know, he was originally green.
To show that.
So yeah, this is actually just the purest Spyro game, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This came out before Insomniac released. They actually just they took our mod, our fan game, and they were like, "Let's make a fan game. It's going to be Spyro 3."
I'm ready.
You guys didn't see anything weird with the head bash container, by the way? It did not do anything strange.
I saw it.
I trust you.
Yeah, the head bash containers occasionally they're like slightly embedded in the scenery, and they freak out a little bit if
Was
you
that
touch
what
them in the
that
wrong
is?
way. Yeah.
I actually figured out a strat at one point with super bonus run on the secret last level in this game that has a different requirement actually in this fan game. So you can get there a lot earlier. I found a technique that allows you to skip into a later section that they walled off using a bunch of them by flaming the head bash containers, which changes the collision and allows you to just pass through them. Some really funky stuff with them. It always looks really goofy. Also, I was doing some very deliberate movement there to avoid a chance of locking me out of the end level egg. The rockets can just despawn on you because they were placed super far away from each other.
And your egg is in Enchanted Towers or Midnight Towers, isn't it, Wed?
It is. I'll probably come back to it to show it off later.
Yeah.
It's very out of the way on like an initial go through the level, so I might as well just wait on it.
There were a couple eggs we put in, Wed's included, that we were like, okay, so we have this spot, and it's cool enough we need an egg there. But also, man, we're a little bit sorry that we're putting an egg there, because
They gave me one of the longest, most irritating eggs to get in the entire game. One of, not the most. It's definitely out there. See, it's
And
not.
meanwhile, I'm on the way on every category.
You are. You have to be gone.
There's no skipping me.
Actually, the hardest egg to get in the entire game is not actually named after a community member. In fact, named after a Doctor Who character.
Because it happens to be Future Ruins. When we were doing that blind find all the eggs race, I'm pretty sure that was the last egg for most of us. It was just so difficult, like to the point where most of us didn't even know that it was possible to get the tricks required, and it was just like trying to find the actual strategy that got us up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like save states were allowed for that race thing. I personally didn't use any save states until that very last egg because I couldn't otherwise.
I don't blame you on that one.
I think I finished third, and I was the one that did not use save states. I was like
even for that egg you didn't?
Yeah.
Oh
I
no.
didn't use save states, right?
That's cool.
Every time I go back and I want to do it, it takes me an hour and a half of charge jumping that helmet.
There was a strat found for it that I didn't know about actually when we released. It's pretty good. It said proxy from the shark on the floor.
Proxy's so garbage. What was the method you originally intended for that? Was it the helmet jump?
Yeah, that's what I did to get it.
Do you have do you actually have like a technique for it, or does it also take you forever?
It takes me forever.
Okay, cool.
That makes me feel so much better.
That's probably like so validating for you. It probably like feels amazing to be you right now.
Oh, absolutely. During GDQ, since Nitroff and I both went to GDQ, we were both actually sitting at a TV one of the first couple nights for a good hour, just going back and forth trying to get up to get that egg.
Not only that, at AGDQ earlier, we also did something that nobody in their right mind would do. We collected every single egg in here in alphabetical order as much as possible. And that egg was basically what made or broke the run. Like, whoever got that egg the fastest won, basically.
Yeah, I think I beat Nitroff by like 10, 15 minutes because I got that egg 15 minutes before him.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think anything is probably like beyond human comprehension, and like it's probably not that bad. And then you said what it was, I'm like, oh no, never mind. That's the one thing that that sounds painful.
It's it kind of cramps the hands trying to do it for a while because you are just sitting there doing the same jump with like no time whatsoever taken to reset it back up.
It's like there's also a sharp turn in it, and you just know instinctively if there's a sharp turn, you're going to press the buttons harder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just manhandle my controllers whenever I'm speedrunning. I showed a picture to Blunt, who's another speedrunner, and he was like, oh my god, because my controller, like, it is just like, it looks like it's been being eroded by the ocean for like at least 50 years, but I've only been using it for like a year and a half.
No backup crap. Gotta fix the wall.
As for the question in the chat from Star, what's different in this mod? A lot of it is egg placement. Obviously, there's some coloration, some skybox differences, egg naming. There's some more intricate stuff with like Moby linking and some concepts in the levels that are a little bit different. But basically, if you just consider all the architecture of the levels remains the same, we can move the objects within the levels. We moved as much as we could to make it interesting for people that knew a lot about the game.
A lot of the gems are going to be in similar locations, but gems weren't the focus here. There's some gem requirements at some point, and Jeremy and HWD have added a few high-value gems, or moved some gems, or moved some containers for some extra challenge.
Yeah, and oftentimes, similar to Insomniac actually, we put gems in spots that would suggest where an egg might be. So the atlas clues were one thing that suggested where they might be. Also, if you see a gem up in a place where you're like, you know what, there wasn't a gem there back when I played when I was 6 years old, then it's probably because there's an egg there as well, or at least close. It's on the way.
Yeah, just get the rest of the eggs with swim.
Yeah. I got a fun fact for you two a couple days ago. I actually soft locked or got locked in the level, or like was forced to quit out on the level from Boulder Proxy yesterday.
Really? How so?
I got permaflopped going up from the boulder and landed between the two pandas on the way down.
I've never seen that. That's crazy.
I'd never seen it either. I got stuck there. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't think anyone has done this before.
This is another level where like there's that well-known swim in air that trivializes those two eggs that Red just got. But the extra challenge that Jeremy and HWD gave us was to actually get all of those eggs without swimming or without proxies. And again, like that was a really fun one to do. And another fun fact about that is there is another egg in a side area in the boat challenge that they didn't know you could do without proxies and swim in air, in that case proxy, that I eventually proved that was possible with the proxy. So I went ahead and beyond, and that was also fun.
That was cool to see too.
I did not know you actually did that.
Yeah, there were a few different methods found. Like, I mean, I ended up testing, like I said, HWD and I made this over about 6 months, and I probably play tested for a couple hours at the very minimum, almost every single day. And we really wanted there to be multiple ways to get to every egg, first of all, because like Nitroff is saying, there are ways to trivialize a lot of the eggs. We wanted them to be accessible in ways that were more gymnastic. Yeah, there were definitely ways where I was seeing runners find an egg in a way that I was like, oh, you can find the egg that way? Well, that's cool, now I know that too. And I do think, like in general, obviously, my knowledge base expanded when runners had that, but I think the fan game in general kind of informed a lot of people about spots you could go or why things work or how things could work. Even
This
just
is
in
another
terms of the swim
example
in
of a level where swim in air trivializes everything.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's the only level in the game normally that has a swim state that you can't actually get a swim in air in. HWD and I thought, okay, let's lower the death plane because that is the issue in the main game, is the death plane, as well as just in general how isolated before the water has moved, before the trigger has moved.
I should have let the audio play there. He's got some really funny lines in the fan game.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that was modified. They actually changed a lot of the text, and on top of that, either used some of the community members for voice acting or used AI-generated voices. And yeah, that was a fun experience also to just go through here, listen to what everyone had to say.
It's a very funny experience exiting Cloud Spires, and if you like kind of forget what you're doing and sit there, Hunter will run up to you and just scream at you.
Yeah. And I guess I should point out, so I've mentioned that HWD 405 and I worked on this, and for a long time it was pretty private. Not a lot of people knew about it. At the very end, when we were thinking, what else can we add? We brought some people in that we thought could add something like voice acting. So Mrs. Dr. Pepper and Jemp did voice acting for us, and we had Composer, who's a community member as well, make an original track for our Aztec-themed level, which is really cool too. Yeah, there's Nitroff. There you go. Unskippable.
That's why he's gotten in every run. Let's see if my luck is good here. Sometimes I get a laser to the butt, and that was very close.
The best is when you get zapped at the exact wrong time and then just can't get onto the whirly gig.
Yeah, if that was like any sooner, I wouldn't have been able to get on the whirly gig, and I would have had to exit long. Speaking of the Aztec level, that's where we're going next.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Another one where there was a fun challenge about doing a proxyless, and now that proxyless strat is something that we use as a backup because it turns out it's not that difficult and actually makes it viable to get all those eggs in a somewhat consistent time, even if you fail the proxies.
This level has probably had the most route changes throughout, like, the brief time that
The temple is on.
runs were really being worked on. There's more eggs kept being added as more stuff was being considered viable. That really stinks. Okay, well, I get to show off all of the other stuff instead of proxies, so that's cool.
See, I prefer that anyway, so you did it on purpose.
Yeah,
I would
we're
really
going for a little
prefer
bit of
if his
content.
range would...
Do you have enough extra lives? Because I know you were low earlier, so...
Still am pretty low. I think I have one, so...
Right. Oh, you only need one, so...
Yeah, this is the one where I think this is one of my two favorite levels conceptually. We knew that we wanted it to be more jungly, and so we did like the Ice Age of Frozen Altars. And there happens to be an egg in this level that has a dragon in sheep's clothing. And so we inserted the canon that there was, I forget what the name is now, but there's like an Aztec god of like frost, that he was supposed to receive a tribute of that sheep. And it was taken away. He couldn't find it, so he was mad, so he started to freeze over the level. Yeah, we had a lot of fun researching different Aztec like legends and gods, and really having a lot of fun with this one.
All right, a bit of an unfortunate mistake there, but it allows us to show this jump off one time. Jump, which used to be a lot more difficult until we found out that you could actually hover into that spot easier than the spot we were aiming for at first.
And shoutouts to ZBM for just like telling me that off rip one day, and I was like, wait, you can just do that? Yeah, both the wall proxies there, crazy. I already got the one inside of the mirror room, right?
Yes.
You got me looking at my atlas. that route or that level is also like out of all the levels probably the most subject to just changing egg order on the fly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy to forget.
What were each of your favorite levels to play casually in your first playthrough?
Oh.
I kind of like Spider Town, but I don't know if I would say it was my favorite. It's very new music. Bland Extra Life right there.
I can't immediately say which one was my favorite, period, but I can say which one was the most improved compared to the original game, and that's Lost Fleet.
Nice.
Well, that's because there's no subs and no.
Yeah. We just skipped the two side areas, which was basically what no one likes about
those
Lost
turn
Fleet.
117 runs of that level from 4-minute levels to 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those challenges are pretty rough. I've been trying to put subs in the 100 egg, and it's just so demotivating. The reason I haven't played 100 egg in like 7 months or 8 months, whatever it's been, is because I don't want to practice subs enough.
Ooh, I slightly flubbed up a turn. I now have lost 20 seconds because the sub is all the way over there now.
And that is like no exaggeration. For people who aren't familiar with the runs, like it literally can be like just 10th of a second too long on a turn. Wow, okay, my run's dead.
Like it's to the point where I think the community best segment is still like you could still save 20 seconds or more on it just because subs exist. For 117 at least. I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that those are gone now. And it has a pretty sweet route on top for the speedrun. If Wet is lucky enough not to get the bad frame.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just in general for this level, this is in terms of like execution and stuff that's going on for this level, I think this is one of the cooler levels of the run.
Be careful.
It all comes together like at once at the end, but has a gigantic if on it.
Also, I realize now if you'd taken that death in the Frozen Altars, or whatever the new name is, you wouldn't have been able to do the death abuse here.
Yeah. That's why, actually, I wasn't really thinking about it, but it was a good thing I only tried Firefly one extra time then, because of that as well. The extra life that Firefly gave me allowed me to have one more chance.
Would you look?
But if I'm lucky, I land on a good cycle here.
There's a cycle there where the water rises up and down, and you just got to be on the right cycle to be able to get that swim in air. But as you see, it's not normal swim in air, it's swim in acid. And when you're underwater in acid, nice, you got it, and you lose invincibility, it's instant death, which we abuse here. I guess you didn't glide fast enough. That's unfortunate, but I mean, this jump is not too bad. There you go. And yeah, just respawning up there makes it a lot faster to get this egg here, and then just collecting the rest of the eggs throughout the game. throughout the level.
If I didn't pause out of the egg on the right frame, I would have still been alive while swimming and would have respawned swimming in acid still, and it would just be stuck up there in a permanent death loop until
which would have game overed you right away. So, I guess one thing that is worth mentioning is the egg requirement here for this run is actually low enough that we barely ever need to enter side areas. Like, a lot of the eggs were placed in like challenging places to get, but those challenging places are not slow to get, most of them. And we only enter, I think, one side area in this run, which is in Molten Crater, or Mad Monster Crater.
Yeah, we enter that one because there's 3 eggs in there.
Which is the only one that has that property. And there are 3 fast eggs on top.
You didn't see it there. It is indeed an egg there. From the right camera angles, it's there. There's a lot of just like too many particles at once issues going on here that cause the eggs to just kind of deload their textures at times. And was actually worked in as a gimmick for one of the eggs.
We had so much of a headache with Evening Lake in particular, just because like no matter what we tried, whether it was extra draw distance, if we tried to do something different with the textures, nothing would make the eggs that we moved actually work properly visually. So it was an issue. So when Bianca comes down and talks, she says that the sorceress cast an invisibility spell, and that's just because we couldn't get them to not be invisible in most cases. And yeah, like Wed mentioned, there's a gimmick because we thought it was a little bit funny that they were invisible. And the reactions were funny as well, where people would get to Evening Lake and they'd be like, okay, finally to Evening Lake, this fan game is so difficult. And then Bianca would say that and they'd have no context yet as to how easy or difficult. They'd be like, oh, come on, invisible? And they'd be like mad about it. And it was just really funny.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's exactly how I hoped that would go.
So I was going to mention, for the astute among you who didn't but now you get a chance to actually see it. Jeremy and HWD actually swapped the entry portals of 2 levels. Beekeepers, which is in the original game Honey Speedway, and Bentley's Outpost. I don't remember if that one has a different name, but they've been swapped in the hack, which is a nod to a common mistake that people are making. When both portals are locked, so I suppose worth mentioning. For context, when portals are locked in this game, they're actually still present on the map, just inaccessible, usually put directly under their original location, but under the map so that you can't reach them. And Honey Speedway and Bentley's Outpost's portals are like so close to each other that it's very common for speedrunners, mostly beginner ones, to enter one on accident while you try to enter the other. And so they swapped those portals here, which actually led to pretty funny moments where people that are like usually pretty confident at entering those portals, the right portal went out of bounds, actually enter the other one on accident and like realize they enter the one that they expect leads to the level that they're going for, but that leads them to the other level, and there's just like some confusion that arises from that.
I liked when working out through like all the routes and stuff, being able to just brazenly do the oob into Bentley's Outpost wrong and still hit it because it got moved into the easier spot.
Yeah.
And then immediately after Bentley, you just charge back in the portal
you just hold square and go straight into the wrong level. Or immediately pay money bags.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
I think that screwed up a 150 to run for me or something at one point. Where like, I only did one of those, so. Then, 13 I had to do the
nice back up there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely got some pranks in. Then there was one in Cloud Spires where Moneybags tells you to do something, and then there's an invisible wall. And then the way that we put the egg in the extra area in Dino Mines, so that like if you go straight to the egg, you get loaded out of the side area.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. We had fun with it.
This
Even
was
more fun watching it though.
This is always a goofy thing to me, doing this backwards since everything was laid out differently. The door just like opens on you and you clip straight through it.
And this is a level, there are probably 3 or 4 of them that I think that if HWD and I were to do like a revamp, re-release, anniversary, whatever, we'd probably change Charm Bridge a decent amount because it didn't really play the way we wanted it to. And like casually there was an issue, we could add text to help with that, but also just the layout of the level. 2 of the eggs are a little bit too close to each other. There is a better spot. I won't say where, but there is a better spot that we could have used that we didn't.
That was the tiniest proxy, but
That's all you
needed.
That's all you need. Shoutouts to Hypno Shark for being on the 1.0 spot. Or that's not the 1.0 spot. That's
It is a 1.0 spot.
Yeah. This game's like actual releases, like Spyro 3, had a couple of different versions. And the reason they released it, because there were some very game-breaking things that happened in the original release. That locked you out of eggs or locked you out of gems semi-permanently. The eggs would be permanent. But anyway, they made some smaller changes as well. And so in certain cases, like on version 1.0, the original release, there's a part of that goop or acid, whatever it is, in Charm Bridge that you can stand on, whereas in version 1.1 you can't. And so just a fun fact, and we thought might as well allude to that fun fact by putting an egg right there.
pretty sure while practicing like wizard proxies around like the big pool, at one point I found another 1.0 spot just sitting in the middle of the lava.
Really, I don't know about that one actually.
I like accidentally hit it one time and I thought I was like tweaking. I thought I was going crazy.
I'm curious now. I'll have to look in any spots like that. I'm like, in terms of like the niche trivia for Spyro, where you can stand, where you can't stand, I love it. It's honestly so fun.
I'm pretty sure there's one sitting in the middle there. It's kind of a shame that we don't have like a good model viewer to be able to like really check it.
That's cool.
I have just a quick question, actually.
What's up?
Sure.
For anyone who's like new watching this, I'm asking for a friend. Is there any resources or anything that people could find to like learn like some of the more advanced like Spyro movement and stuff?
Yeah, we should have. Go.
I was going to say that there's a speedrunning Discord that we use, and everyone's super, like I mentioned before, the community is very tight-knit and also very helpful and kind. So if you come in and you say, could you help me learn this? First of all, we'll help you learn it. That's guaranteed. Also, in this fan game, there are a lot of tutorials on how to do different techniques, just kind of packaged in, where Zoe will tell you how to do something, explain exactly the inputs you might need, or sometimes Bianca might say it instead. Beyond that, there are tutorials for normal speedruns that can apply to this fan game as well, because obviously the inspiration for it was the speedrunning community for Spyro 3. So all three of those resources, whether it's the game itself, whether it's the speedrunning Discord and the people inside, or tutorials online, which we can link you in the speedrunning Discord, all those are good resources.
Good to know. Yeah, like I said, asking for a friend.
Yeah.
We got the fun game up here coming up now.
Oh, right.
The impossible egg. Usually when people were casually playing the first time that they saw this egg, you go into the slide area, just see an egg just sitting there, on nothing, just way far away. Like, you know, a good like 200 feet away, flying like 50 feet up in the air, and you're like, how in the world do you get that? And yeah, it's just sitting there.
Well, I will
Isn't
say
it
as
the
well,
backup
there,
spot?
yeah,
Yes.
there is a way to get the egg legitimately in that slide area. Well, kind of in the slide area. But then, yeah, if you pay money bags, sometimes he tells you secrets, and maybe some of those secrets tell you some backup eggs.
Got us a tool.
Fun fact about that spot, this is where you'd usually, in the normal game, in the any-person speedrun, you'd actually enter the sorceress from that spot and skip the egg requirement. And Tuval is the one who found that, so that is a nice location for that egg. And here we are on the 80 egg requirement. But I do think we have some other eggs we'd like to show off after we're done with the runs, so we're not going to be done quite yet.
Yeah. Done them like that, but
This is a pretty clean run overall, too. I'm impressed.
oh, a few hiccups early. It got a bit cleaner as time went on. That's how it usually goes, though.
Yeah.
Get out the
Seeing the
butterfly.
grass here always makes me laugh.
This is another in-joke one, actually, I feel like.
In 1.0, the soundtrack in this level is the Sunrise Spring theme. I'm not exactly sure why something was forgotten, something was missed before the release, because the soundtrack does exist on disc, it's just not playing. And so the textures here are not to that.
Yeah, they figured, there's two different options here. You can either fix the music or you can fix the level. So they decided to fix the level.
Yeah.
Like one hit or two hits?
2 hits.
That's one.
Oh, it was 1. Okay. Don't mind me.
I did not set that up right.
Yeah, you were a bit too close. Or maybe Agent 9 was not ready yet.
I don't think it was ready.
Probably both. Usually when you get a tank skip, or I guess, yeah, early
tank
tanks
skip.
like that, you need to wait a bit before you can get the UFO skip.
Time should be coming up pretty shortly.
One hit. Time.
Yes.
GG.
Thank you. What's the time on that, actually? Don't mind me asking. Take it. Yeah, I could sit through the cutscenes there. They're unmodified. Since we got a bit more time, let's show off a few more things.
Yeah, I think we can start with Dino Mines, or whatever it's been called.
Dry Gulch.
Dry Gulch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of these eggs that you don't do in the run.
Thank you for the GGs, by the way.
This one that we want to show is actually in an unused area from the original game.
I'm going that's wrong way to jump. I have not done this in a bit because I haven't had to enter this level in a while. So bear with me as I try to remember how to do Axel Proxy. Yes, I know I used the wrong side.
It's like
There's a
riding
wrong
bike.
side.
Oh yeah, it's contentious in the community which side is correct.
Here goes when there's a coin flip for something. Some people for the left side, some people for the right.
All right, so what is going to be doing here is getting zapped as he's swimming. Yeah, you just need to like swim against it and press square.
Yeah, I was not thinking right. It's been a bit. Yeah, I'm trying to get zapped by Zoe. Trying to get the swim here. So what that does is it puts me, when I respawn, I'm above the water. But since I was in swim state when I got zapped, now I'm still in swim state. That can allow me to, I can show off a couple of things. Like, I'll show like one egg here. Oh, Oh wow, there's an egg under the bridge. That's crazy.
The chimney.
Nah.
No, you don't want to do that one. All
Chimney.
right.
What we'll do though is there's this little spot over here that this
That is
exists on all copies of Spyro. Like even the original copies of Spyro 3, this is here. The side area always exists. It is always empty like this, except it does not usually happen. He gets put in the loneliest spot in the entire game.
And then in the middle of that area, there's the portal back, which is what Jeremy was referring to earlier. They put the egg right across from you, where like if you just see the egg, you're going to run straight for it, and obviously you're going to hit that and be shut out, and you'll have to come back, try again later, and then like everyone would just do the widest circle they can to make sure they dodge it.
I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to show off Honey Speedway now.
Honey Speedway, right?
I was thinking which speedway I wanted to show off because I wanted to show off one of them because all of them have been pretty heavily modified. So, yeah, this was the one I decided. The auto scroller dino shooter on the stage used to irk the heck out of you. Well, this version actually does not have it. Instead,
Nice.
You got just some general movement with some eggs put in some really weird locations. Actually, Nitroff, you taught me a different method to get one of the eggs in that Agent 9 area that I didn't know of.
Oh yeah, the intended way.
Yeah, I didn't know the intended way.
The barrel rocket.
I knew a different barrel rocket that didn't send you as high. Oh yeah. So let's start out here. So yeah, we just go right in. Which challenge do you like to play? You might happen to notice that there's no time attack. We only have Race the Bumblebees. So this is a case with all of these. One of the options was generally removed. Two of them, I believe, or no, I think this is the only one that was the race that's only in it. Does that sound correct, Jeremy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And pretty much for all of them, it really doesn't matter. Or the last two, it doesn't matter. The first two have a time trial that you can get an egg from, but all the rest of the challenges just have eggs sitting out in the open.
Yeah, so you can start the race, you can complete the race normally, but if you look around, you can actually find the egg that the race would give you and collect it yourself and not have to run the race.
Yeah, with the speedways, HWD and I really wanted to change them quite a lot conceptually. There were constraints, which is why Sparks has to like venture over to you. You have to be localized to him, and sometimes the spawns are a little bit strange. But we wanted, because I think the issue with the speedways in Spyro 3 is that there are 3 challenges. They're very long, and it's not the best payoff. So we wanted everything to be collected in one like mini game, basically, and also be interesting to collect. I think my favorite of the speedways is the Country Speedway. I really like that one because there's like a vanilla auto bounce that a lot of people knew about that we use.
I was thinking about showing off that one, but I admittedly don't remember the route that I used for it, so I just kind of opted for this one instead.
Yeah, and I like
don't
this
do that egg because you just get counted off course.
Actually, I was surprised by that because I remember now we put it there specifically so that you would go off course unless you collected a second ring. I think like we play tested it, we were like, this one's a little bit too easy. We need to get people off course sometimes. So we put it in a spot that would throw them off course if they didn't get a specific ring.
Yeah, if I was aware there, I would have just gone straight into Bentley's outpost and would have been annoyed with myself.
Frozen Altars.
Frozen Altars, yeah. Let's show off the one there that would have been kind of inconvenient otherwise. There's one in the Bentley challenge, which is boxing. except we're not doing boxing this time. Boxing does not exist in this world, in this realm.
We're all pacifists in this realm. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And either way, the door wouldn't have been open, so it would have just been an inconvenience to get over here in the first place, or to get out and stuff. So yeah, we're Spyro in here, and usually we're not Spyro in here. We got a guy here who has a strange hitbox property, since Spyro isn't usually supposed to be in here. I can just kind of get stuck in him. He doesn't really care if my hitbox is mixed in. He'll just kind of let me exist. Which also means that I can get like super deep into the hitbox and do stuff like if I can actually hit the hole.
Superman.
Here and oh, would you look at that? Oh, it's a building, and there's an egg in here. You can also go under the map to get that, but I thought it would be cooler to show off the weird interactions with the Yeti hitbox.
I agree. And actually, I didn't know about the under the map thing when we released either. That's something I learned.
That's another example of a level that was the challenge that was set was do it without proxies, and that egg was not taken into consideration for that challenge. But it being possible, we just decided. Well, I personally decided when I made my submission, I'm just going to get that egg on top because I can also get it without proxies.
I'm going back in here for an egg that I'm sure Nitroff is considering ill-advised of me to go back for.
If I am to believe what Wed told me, this should take at most like 30 seconds to get. But if I had the controller, it could take anywhere between 30 seconds and 7 minutes.
Well, if I can even get there, I can't seem to spin jump anymore now since the timer's not running. Okay. I definitely did not need to do this move. I don't know why I did, but fine. Oh yeah, there. JT, there's the 1.0 spot down there. Just that right up here.
Yeah, I'll test it out tonight.
Alright, so a few things have actually been changed in this challenge. Usually it's, like a big mushroom puzzle. You got Jack right here, and he gives you a couple mushrooms, and you go on your merry way. He's, as you can see, nowhere to be found, which means that we are already on quite a restriction when it comes to any way to get height in this area. So I'm going to start off by failing this jump. See if I can get this.
Nice.
Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me right now?
So now we get to see the jump and the proxy, which is good. You're learning more.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Promise I can do it. I gotta do some scenery jumps there to get that. Yeah. So now we're stuck up here with a flower. And for those of you that have played this, the flower doesn't really give you much extra height. We need to get up there to get that mushroom. And we don't really have the height for that. So if this goes right, it doesn't take too long. I have like a pseudo setup for this.
My God.
And yeah, you just proxy off of that. I am flabbergasted that was first try. And nice shot. You definitely sound like you want to.
That's so cool.
That is way harder than I made that look. I'm also making that spin jump look way harder than it initially was. Alright, there's no mushroom openings here. I need this for the little height it actually gives me. Which should have started doing it later. When I was at GDQ, I ended up sending a no traffic picture when I was trying to mess with this, and I actually got just the right height that I embedded inside of the flower. So that's usually what happens when you glide or hover into something and you're at the exact same height as the floor. And yeah, I just got stuck in the flower. Luckily, when you glide out, it just processes you out anyway. So that was nice. And that was way faster than I ever would have hoped that to go.
First try is like, if you told me, I wouldn't have believed you. I saw it, so.
Look, you just stand on the yellow flower there, and then you just BS a timing to glide. And that's all you do. I just do it by feel.
How about Fireworks Factory, the hidden room thing?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's normally in the original game that is unused, completely inaccessible unless you use exploits that Jeremy and HWD put an egg in. So just testing your knowledge of the game, I suppose.
Yeah,
this one.
I feel like this one's for speedrunners. When you come in, a lot of people coming in that have done or like are interested in speedrunning the game usually have a little bit of extra game knowledge, and that's all that tends to be required to know about this spot.
Oh my god!
Me? What is happening? That should have taken way longer.
That's another thing that usually takes like between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. And
yeah,
first try again.
Yeah, there was supposed. I don't know if there was actually supposed to be a breakable wall here.
There was, yeah.
I mean,
they just eventually removed it.
You probably got word from the big men themselves.
I did, yeah. They said that there was supposed to be a breakable wall.
Yeah, for anyone
instead,
that doesn't have reference,
what you can find in the original game instead here is an extra life.
Yeah,
right?
There's an extra life here. Just sitting right there in a nice feed there. Jeremy ended up learning that from a showcase that he did at Insomniac a few years ago of Spyro 3 80%. It's a great run. I highly recommend finding it if it's still up.
I believe it's still up.
At this moment, I can only think of one more egg that we said we wanted to show off.
Did say I get me.
Oh, we gotta do it.
I didn't get you, did I, JT?
No.
I do not remember where you are off the top of my head. I want to say you're in the last hub, though.
I think I'm in Spooky Swamp. Oh, I'm just beat the boss in Spooky Swamp.
Oh. That's a little boring then.
How dare you?
I mean, I could.
Go
no,
for
you
it.
Don't have to. If anyone wants to see just a Sleepyhead get beaten the exact same way he gets beaten.
No, I could do it with the other egg, which usually has to do other strats.
Yeah, that's actually the other egg's kind of a joke. For those who know me, I like Scooby-Doo, and I like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island specifically. It's an animated one from 1998. And so that egg is called Moonscar because if you get it in Zombie, and Moonscar in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is a zombie. If you get it in Zombie, then you are screwed because you can't get out. So that was just a little joke that I put in because I like Scooby. That's why Scooby and Shaggy are eggs in that level as well.
I actually didn't mean to put farther in the button, but okay.
In normal speedruns, we skip Farley altogether, but for this egg, we actually need them.
And we just completely ignore Farley, and luckily for us, Farley ignores the laws of physics and goes through walls, so everything.
You actually caught a glimpse of that egg just now. Right now, though, we need to lure Farley back a little bit.
I'm gonna play some fetch for a bit.
He just wants attention. That's all we were trying to give him in this fan game.
We put him in some spot a couple weeks ago here. This might be a good spot for it. You can actually get him to permanently just throw the ball into the void because it has a lower height than this platform, so I'll just throw it through the platform and down into the floor. He's just stuck.
You can see the egg above the doorway there.
So that's our goal right now. I swear, if this also is first try.
It's time to go buy a lottery ticket if it is. I believe.
Say that is if I know what I'm doing. I'll also just eat the ball again.
That looks good.
I guess it's time to get a lottery ticket.
Yeah, congrats
You
on the
are
win.
my
Yeah.
goat.
Because that's what happens when no timer is running.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that just spawns you out here on the opposite side of the map, right next to a rocket.
Yeah.
Let's go get JT, and then we can call this one.
Sure. The final boss of the game is Sleepyhead. Confirmed.
I did set my save file to Sleepyhead, so
There you go. Yeah, it all makes sense. It's a full circle now.
yep. I don't know why the approach from Enchanted to get that rock jump has just always been an issue for me.
It never works.
Yeah.
It's just slightly too close.
That's amazing that you got all of those first try, Wed.
I couldn't have picked going the way it did. Oh, is this?
Oh, now you got to go out of bounds.
Oh, well. Go around this way and do it without penalty. Unless. Oh, we're good. Alright, so I'm going to do something fairly ill-advised, which is immediately charge jumping into Sleepyhead here, which doesn't bring up the HUD for the health bar, and it also gives you regular free cam, which makes getting the bombs a massive pain, but it makes getting the proxy a lot easier.
Nice.
It always takes me forever to get this proxy, man.
Right, now we get to do this with no health. I get to free aim all of these bombs with no health. That is why
There
this is
you
an
go.
issue. I promise you, it is not easy to hit these with free cam.
Okay, there's one. It's 4 hits, by the way.
Awesome. Fun memes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, rare 5 attack.
That's a rare one.
Some
Been a few
people
years
go
since I saw that
years in their life. Like
The
speedrunners.
first time I saw that attack was while playing this hack.
I think the first time I ever saw it was a couple of years after I started speedrunning.
Yeah, it took me like 5 or 6 years after speedrunning. And I was surprised. Somebody told me, I think it was Nerf who told me. He was like, this is an attack that happens. I was like, no, it's not. But, yeah, it was.
Are you not going to talk about how
GG.
you were like, yeah, this is not easy, and then you just did it perfectly?
Yeah, all the stuff that I should have just said, like, preface. I should have prefaced the entire run with that, and then I probably would have just gotten world record.
Yeah, this glitch showcase has been pretty amazing.
It went
Yeah.
so much better than even the run. The run went pretty well.
But yeah,
That was awesome.
that was great. Thank you so much for showing stuff off and doing that run.
No,
That was
I'm
great.
sure
That
Wed,
was my pleasure.
I'm sure Wed would like to show off that future ruins egg as much as I do, but we don't have time for this. It would take forever to get.
I mean, at this rate, it might be first try.
Yeah, y'all can give shout outs, and honestly, while you're doing that, you can give it the good old college try if you want.
I'll make my way over there, I guess.
But yeah, where can everyone find y'all, and also where can they find this fan game?
Yes, of course. So, as it says up there, I'm a Wet SR. I do some PlayStation speedrunning from time to time, mostly Spyro. I've done some Jack, I've done Ratchet, some Crash in the past, and I've done a little bit more branching out over the last few months. Some people might know that I did some Animal Well recently as well. So if you like all that stuff, as well as like just some occasional casual gaming, feel free to drop a follow over on my channel in Wet SR. You guys want to continue? You know, some.
All right. I'm Nitrovsky. I mean, I also run this, well, the original game here, 117 mostly. I have run this mod before. I definitely want to do more runs in the future. I think the run is amazing. I love what Jeremy and HWD have done with this. It's just challenging version of 100 Egg, and it's just great. You can find me on Twitch, of course, twitch.tv/Nitrovsky. I'm going to be, if you ever see me stream, which is unlikely at this rate because I haven't streamed in, a year and a half. Not because I don't want to come back, but yeah. So eventually I'll come back, but it might take a while. Anyway, I will be running more Spyro and also Crash. I'm still thinking about focusing on the Sprashfecta, which is the Spyro and Crash original trilogies 100% back-to-back. And yeah, I also have a Discord server and everything, which is also inactive because I'm not streaming, strangely.
I'm Jeremy. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitch, it's Jeremy Thompson, just my name. But like Nitroff, I haven't streamed in quite a while. I would recommend following HWD405's YouTube. He's very active. He posts a lot of like prototype stuff as well as this, and it's honestly, if you're interested in Spyro, you'll be interested in his YouTube. And he was the mastermind behind all of the programming of this fan game. Like, I obviously helped with all the conceptual stuff, but it would not have been possible, or even remotely close to possible, without his hard work as well. So HWD405, in terms of if you want to find this fan game, am I allowed to link something in chat? It's on his Twitter.
You can put it in the show chat, and I can just pop the link in chat.
Sure, I'll do that.
Isn't it also in the Spyro Discord?
They stopped hosting stuff on Discord at a certain point, so he switched the links to archive.org instead.
Makes sense.
I figured we'd at least have like links to it on there.
Yeah, I'll pin them later today. Is there, what's the chat you want me to post this in?
Just the Parallel Universe chat here in Discord.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Yeah, so meanwhile there, Wed's been attempting that on that jump. It's as bad as it looks, honestly. And it's only the first of a series of few jumps. Thankfully, it's also the most difficult. One. Yeah. Once you get this one, if you have like a little bit of practice in you, you should be able to get the rest consistent. But this one in itself can take like a long time to get. Oh, that was pretty close. And there's also the alternative strategy, which Jeremy talked about earlier, that he didn't realize it was possible, which is that shark that just passed in front of Wed. Well, it does a cycle through the map and comes back on the same path periodically, and you can actually squeeze yourself between that shark's fin and the ground and just proxy up from that. It's even possible with that to go all the way straight to the egg that we're trying to get. It might not be obvious exactly what we're trying to get. It's at the top of that structure behind Wed.
It's way up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that looks awful. Okay.
It's not too bad to platform to, because actually our target for platforming is to get into this room, yeah, and then use that water surface there to actually gain swim, and then you can swim to the egg. The water surface, unfortunately, is just slightly too far. I'm saying unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure that Jeremy just had it being lifted just far enough that it wouldn't be possible to head bash into it.
It's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Because otherwise this egg would have been trivial.
It's actually one of the only two, we made 2 architecture changes in the entire run. It was this, and then we tried to make it so that you had to get Zombie to collect the egg in the fountain in Sunny Villa. We failed at that, but we tried.
You did indeed fail at that. Also, I would be remiss to mention, if any of you guys are interested in like learning about speedrunning, getting into like any of like learning strats or just like talking in general with the community, I would recommend checking out the Spyro Discord. We have links on speedrun.com. That should be pretty easy and accessible to be able to find. Everyone's super welcoming there. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're interested.
Yeah, before we end for the night, I just want to mention that GDQ's all-woman and femme speedrunning event, Flame Fatalis, is going to be on August 18th through the August 25th. You can use !FF in Twitch chat to see the schedule for that event, and you can also do !PAX to see the schedule for PAX West, which is going to be all through Labor Day weekend. The schedule for that just came out. It's a banger IMO, but you can do !PAX to see that schedule. And I know all y'all are GDQ Hotfix viewers, but if you want to see the schedule for anything that's upcoming, you can go to GameStoreQuick.com/Hotfix to see that schedule. Yeah, unfortunately, this looks like it sucks, and I hate to cut you off. Cinderella moment.
It's fine.
It is actually going to be perfect to just cut us off while he's still trying. That's the experience we're expecting here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually accurate to the usual experience where you just give up and turn off the game.
That's so fair. But yeah, right after we go off, there's going to be a small break. We're going to be doing reruns for all the shows that happened today. This show, Parallel Universe, and Do All the Things, !DATT. Those are going to be rerunning, and then, yeah, y'all can watch that back if you missed anything that happened today. But thank you everyone so much for watching GDQ Hotfix today. Again, we're live almost every single day, so if you want to support us, consider dropping some subs, some primes, some bits, gift subs, all of that good stuff. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Good night.